I did.
Well, we're live. And from what I understand, this is the we can barely hear you, Scott, which is probably a good thing. Anyway, this is probably the last time we're going to be able to talk to Scott before he goes into witness protection. So,
Scott, we can hear you, but you're super low.
Okay, hold on.
Get low.
It must be the FBI wiretap in your headset.
Get low.
I would just like to tell Scott, his boy Elroy.
Any better? Worse?
You're still pretty quiet.
I took my mic out of my office, so I had to.
His boy Elroy. Da, 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 da. Nobody else is catching the reference?
You're singing the Jetsons. Why?
Look at Scott.
He looks like Rosie.
Nope. Look at Scott.
He does.
No, behind him to his right. Behind him to his right. There's a little canister there with Elroy on it.
Oh, okay.
He does look like Rosie with a headset on.
He does have the Rosie headset, though.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where I found this thing. I thought it was like I thought it was classic, but it's not. It's got Tide Pods in it, by the way.
Don't eat them.
Yeah, eat one. Let's see you do it. Come on, I'll challenge you.
Lance
right
could
now.
use the ratings. Come on, Aldi, take one for the team.
Yeah.
Need more subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. If we get up to 12, we'll eat a Tide Pod.
Huh. Oh. Does anybody have anything pressing they really want to talk about right now?
Do you have something pressing you want to talk about?
Well, no.
That you're leading up to? Or
I'm just wondering if there's anything anybody like really like is like on the.
Before you monologue for half hour.
I played Charterstone for the first time this week and really.
I did too.
Played the first two games and
I did too.
I'm quite impressed with the innovation and the amount of work that went into that game. Playing through it and seeing how things bounce around and without trying to spoil anything, just the amount of work and planning that went into a game of that magnitude. I take my hat off to Stegmeyer and his crew. That the game looks like it's going to turn out to be something really cool. And we've had a blast. The group I had, we played through the first two campaigns in one night, and we only stopped because we had to. We'd have kept playing if we had the time.
I liked it a lot. We played two games, and half the table was like, "Let's play another one." And the other one,
if it wasn't like 11 o'clock on a work night, we'd have kept playing. I really enjoyed Charterstone.
I dug it. I'm looking forward to it. It's as enjoyable as Seafall was not.
Yes, and I even went out and bought the recharge pack after that because I know I'm going to want to play through the campaign again.
I didn't go that far.
How many games have we gone in?
Two out of 12. But I can easily see.
I'm not going to be negative. I like the game, but we're stuck on 11. We can't bring ourselves to finish it.
Really?
I don't know why. Like something happened, like something turned, and like we kind of I'm not trying to be negative about it. I really
like shit all over it, Aldi. Come on,
Aldi, man, I don't want to play it anymore.
I'm not
we might as well quit now. Shit.
I hesitated to say anything.
But yet you
we cannot finish it.
But yet you persisted.
Oh, whatever. Everybody loves the game. I think it's great. I like the game too.
I don't know what's going to happen. I know there's a lot more stuff that's going to get added to it, but I'm impressed with what I've seen so far.
Yeah. Why is this not working? Can you hear that?
Mostly.
All right.
Lance, how about you?
Nothing. I got nothing.
What say you today?
No.
Isn't there a project
if you haven't backed Gentis yet, or Gentis, or Pientis, or Rentis, or whatever you want to call it, if you haven't backed it, go back it. If you've already backed it, back it again. So, I'm actually really happy with it because I worked really, really hard, in my opinion, on the this Kickstarter project. And most of what you see in front of you, I mean, obviously I didn't do a lot of the art and stuff like that, but the actual project and getting the information out to people and getting all the media set up and getting the whole thing written and getting the whole thing, rolling I did a lot of work with that, and so I'm pretty excited about the fact that I didn't honestly. I mean, it actually it had the best first day, as far as number of backers and money of any game that we put on Kickstarter before, and I was blown away. I mean, I was like, well, I'm pretty sure we'll fund that first day, but we hit 40,000 in like 40 minutes, and yeah, I mean, it was like, and we blasted through all of our stretch goals. We hit $100,000, within 12 hours. And I mean, I know that's not CMON level of excitement, but it's for a no luck Euro. I don't know. We were really happy with it, and I'm quite pleased with that. My efforts did not go for vain, I guess. So
It was my appearance on the podcast that did it.
it didn't hurt. I had a couple of people compliment us a great deal. So
The Lance and Ant show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, if you haven't backed it, go back it.
I backed it.
Keep
As soon as I
backing
saw it go up.
I already backed it.
back it again. You got money.
I have a copy of the game and I backed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I bought the pre-order too.
So, yeah, I mean, it's weird, because we just, we preloaded it with, pretty much all of the stuff that normally would have been stretch goals. Like I guess that was something I really pushed for the campaign. I was just like, let's just load it up with all the wood and all the coins. So like, there's no chance they're gonna and just, if we do that, I think they'll show up. And I was a little bit worried, but they did. People were like, holy cow, look, it's filled with all the coins in the wood. And then the stretch goals are just to kind of add silk screen stuff to the wood. And so people don't have to use stickers and stuff. But I've had a lot of people say they really like the stickers. And they like
stickers are the devil. Don't listen to them.
So people are like, oh, we need more stretch goals. And, it's just like, I would love to. But, I mean, it's one of those things, too, now where I guess maybe it's a little bit of a problem where we're like, well, what do you offer at this point as a stretch goal that people aren't going to, just turn their nose up to or think is, kind of a slap in the face?
A autographed picture of Lance. That's your stretch goal.
Yeah, nobody on Earth wants that. So yeah, I mean, but that's a good problem to have, right? I shouldn't really complain about that. I should be focusing on the fact that we've got backers and I mean, you think about all the people that have backed it, and that's like 2,700 backers, almost 2,800 now. We're at 190K. I mean, that's
in 2 days.
Not even 2 days.
A day.
No, 36 hours basically. In about 5 minutes, it'll be 36 hours. So.
And how much did Crusaders pull?
It ended up around 400, I think. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
So halfway there in 36 hours almost. So.
Yeah, Yokohama is our best one ever.
Well, it's a pretty darn good game. So I really dig Yokohama. So
Yokohama.
But this one was tough. I like
Yokohama did 431. Crusaders did 330.
Okay.
And this one, like I said, it's we're really excited about it.
I knew nothing about this game until 2 days ago. So
I think I might like Gentis a little bit more than Yokohama.
Maybe. I mean, I can see where you're coming from on that one. It's more Euro-y. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So it definitely Yokohama kind of actually, I don't know.
I mean, I love Yokohama. It's right here.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks like it has it's a little more complex. It's not too complex, but the fact that you're using both currency and time as currency at the exact same time.
In my opinion, this one is more like your people will be able to refine their strategies a great deal. I think more with this one because like you're gonna kind of know because all the action tiles are out there and you can see them, and then like there's a lot more pre-planning going on. Yokohama has a few more random elements to it with the random card draws, the random tile placements, things like that. So I think I don't know, Gentis has more of a deterministic approach to its gameplay. And so I think that for like the more straightforward Euro crowd, I think they're going to really, I think this one's going to appeal to them more, if that makes sense.
It makes sense. Yes.
The sticky widget, because there's always a sticky widget with every campaign, is that people are, and this is I'm not even going to use the word upset, but people like there's a contingent of people that wish that we had used tiles for the hourglasses, and then having one side of the hourglass be of the tile be a 2 hourglasses and the other side be 1 hourglass. Because, and if you don't understand the game, you understand why there is. I'm not going to go too far into that. Go listen to the TMG podcast with the Lance and Ants show, and you can hear more. And you can find that at www.playtmg.com. And no, you can check that out. But so we didn't use a tile that you flip from one side to the other. We use just, we have hourglasses. Well, a wooden hourglass shape that is now, it had a sticker before, but now it'll have a silk screened hourglass image on them. And so when you go through your decline phase, instead of taking you'll be removing hourglasses instead of flipping a tile.
So when you do a double, you'll just stack 2 on top of each other,
or put 2 in
side by side.
Or put them side by side and just remove one. So anyway, there's a contingent of people that wish that they still had the tile, and like, so I'm getting people that are like, oh, you should include the cardboard tiles so we can have those if we want to use them. And it's just kind of like, no, because there's no space from the box for those, and it's just like, okay, the 100th email that I've responded to about this, it's starting to get a little old. It's just kind of like, well, I mean,
can you just put that in the FAQ or the whatever on the page?
Well, what are you going to say? This is where we're doing it? Suck it? I mean, you have to.
No, but you could say, hey, we've had requests for the hourglasses that will not fit in the box, and that's why we're doing it this way. So
for one of those people who's complaining that they want the tokens instead of the cool hourglasses, when I get my deluxeified copy, I'll sell you my regular copy for $75.
Well, and that's, and I don't want to, I mean, I guess, like I said, there's always going to be something, right? I mean,
well, is it just, okay, so is it because they want it, or is it because that the other deluxeifieds that have come out, like the Orleans came out with both the cardboard and the wood stuff?
I don't know. I mean, the big thing for this is the reason why we can't give them both is because of the fact that you have the insert that that Folded Space is going to make for us, and so they need to know exactly how many of each thing is going to be in there. So, we just there's not going to be a spot for it, right? So it's just kind of like, and it's just, I mean, it's there's. And I once again, I hesitate to make any sort of complaint about any of this because it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, I get it, you're upset, but there's 3 things that I've answered lots of emails about, and it's just it does kind of wear on you sometimes eventually, but it's like people who are like trying to fix the hourglass problem, and there really isn't an hourglass problem. It's just a preference, right? 2, it's like there's always going to be the people that are going to say the shipping costs too much to where I live. You know.
Okay, hold on. Let's hold on to the shipping because I'll squash that right now. All right. So we back Joan of Arc. You know how much my shipping is? $57.
Well, that's a lot of stuff, right?
But it's $57, and we backed it for 2 copies. Me and Paul together, it's $114 to ship.
Hey, don't I have to get in on that or something, or you don't with the pledge manager for that already?
No, we're not done yet. We have till March to finish it up. But it's $57 for shipping.
You and I need to talk about me piggybacking on that.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, but I'm sure for like say New Zealand, it's like $170 or something. I don't know. I mean, so I mean, it's just I don't know. I get it. And the thing that bothers me the most about shipping is it's just like, we do our due diligence, right? We, when you, and it isn't like you can do shipping a la carte. You can't you can't go to like 27 different shipping companies and say, okay, we're going to use you and you're going to ship to South America and we're going to use you and you're going to do this. It's just, it doesn't work like that because in order to get the prices that you get, you have to work with an entire company, and the logistics of divvying up the group and everything. It's just I don't understand. You try to explain that to people and they just don't. And I understand ultimately, it's like they're saying I don't want to pay $60 shipping when the game costs me $60. That's stupid, and I agree that is stupid, and it sucks that we can't give you a better price. Why on earth? I mean, ultimately we want. We don't get any money from shipping. We're charging you how much it costs us to ship.
Right, but what they don't understand is if you didn't kickstart this game and you just released it, and you didn't distribute it to wherever, they'd still have to pay that shipping to get it if they wanted it.
Yeah, I don't work for TMG, so I can say it. Do you not know how much it costs to ship stuff to your country from another country by now?
Well, see, what happens is a lot of people will say, well, they'll point to other Kickstarter things where they're like,
but Jamie Stegmaier doesn't charge the.
Well, see, I know. I mean, I don't remember all of them, but I mean, then you try to explain where it's like, well, actually, what happens with those is that due to the sheer number of games that they produce, they can take a little bit of a loss on shipping because they make it up otherwise. Because they're selling so many, and there's just so many different aspects. And then, we actually, it's just one of those things where it's like you deal with somebody that just, that they say you, it's like, well, obviously you don't give a shit about our country, and you don't give a shit about whether or not we want to play your games. It's just like,
well, that's because they live in a shithole country.
No, I don't say that. But I mean, it's just like, I mean, really, just
you set it up.
I mean, super angry. I mean, and then you have to. I mean, and I'm not going to respond to that in kind. I just say, you sell them. It's obvious that this has upset you a great deal, and I honestly wish that we had a better option for you, but we don't. And that's, it's like. Perhaps you could, if you think you could find some drop ship company that could, if you knew somebody in the United States that you could trust to have the game sent to you, and then they could send it to you and it would cost less, you can look into other options. You can try to find something else to do. I mean, but this is what we have for you. And then, I said there was 3 things, right? There was that one. There was the shipping one. What was my 3rd thing that's been driving me crazy? Oh, so when people, and I'm not going to complain about people that don't check the FAQ in Kickstarters because nobody ever looks at the FAQ. I mean, they never do. They give you that FAQ tab in Kickstarter, but nobody, as Scott Alden famously said, nobody reads anything, and that is the truth. And he's gone. It makes me sad.
Said he'd be right back in chat.
No. Yeah, no. So he said, nobody reads anything, and that's true. It's just they just don't. And so, but when we have a retailer pledge, and it just says, you know, and it kind of explains a little bit of what you can do with the retailer pledge in the pledge, and then but there's a larger section in the actual campaign page that actually explains step by step what will happen if you choose to use the retailer pledge. And I have answered so many questions to retailers asking, so how much is this going to cost me? Okay, well, you know, if you just simply click through and scrolled the wheel down, you know, 3 spots, you would know. But and so I've just taken the, and I just, and you don't want to say, you know, if you actually read it, you would have to ask me this question. You don't say that, but like
read the effing page.
But I just say it's like
I go through this every campaign.
I just say I always just say, you know, hi, you know, it's just like all of these, you know, questions can be answered on our actual campaign page, which I've copy and pasted below, you know, for your convenience. Thank you very much for your interest. You know, and it's just, that's all I can do, you know, but it's just like,
I get 20 emails a day asking about, like, our process is very simple too. Click this little link, takes you to a page, gives you all the instructions. You send an email here, you're in. Yet I'll still get people emailing me saying, oh, how do I get in on this retail pledge? So in order for you to get this email address, you had to have read the page, and it told you exactly what was going on. I get 20 emails a day, and you just have to bite your tongue and give a courteous response and give them the proper links, or just simply answer the question because it's faster, and wonder how some of these people stay in business when they can even simply read a 3-paragraph description of the retail pledge program.
And they haven't even got your horrible pledge manager.
Mm-hmm.
I hate pledge managers, all of them. So I'm not just picking on Simon.
Oh wait, speaking of which, let me hold on. I gotta refresh. See if I have a shipping notice yet.
Nope, and mine's not in USPS's system either. My Rising Sun, but my buddy in town got his today.
Hey, if it makes either one of you feel better, I haven't gotten my shipping notification either, and I live 2 hours from where they're shipping them.
Nope, doesn't make me feel any better.
Nope,
No.
don't make me feel any better.
Not in the least
I've
bit.
got no tracking.
why? I mean, just see, what went wrong there? Why is it taking so long for Rising Sun?
What are you
I don't
talking
think
about?
it is. It's early.
No,
It's
not
early.
taking long.
It's not due till April, and we're shipping out in January.
April 2017.
Nope, 2018.
No, 2018.
2018. We're shipping out 3 months early.
That's only 3 months early. Why isn't it earlier?
Yeah.
Apparently, sorry, I can't appease everybody in the world.
Wait.
That
By
to me
the
sounds
time
like
they're done, it'll be April.
how you
No.
know, it's like how wonderfully like Scotty of you, just like say, if it's going to take 6 weeks, just tell them 6 years, and so then they'll be surprised and they get it. So
You know what? People bitch less if you do that.
Yeah, true. No, we are actually
This
well
is
ahead of
1 week
schedule.
after when it was due. Where is it?
Yeah, we were supposed to be fulfilling the Kickstarter in early April, and we'll have the Kickstarter done
All
and
right,
actually
so-
have it street dated before
So
then.
how much hate mail are you getting over hate then?
Not much, because the people who don't want anything to do with it don't contact me. I only take emails from people interested in signing up for the Retail Pledge Manager. Our Kickstarter team that handles the Pledge Manager and the comments section, they're the ones dealing with most of that.
I noticed that there's like nobody from Simon says anything in the comments page. It's just like
This is a different campaign for us, so yeah, I imagine they're probably being a lot less jumpy with jumping into the comments.
The comment section has
Somebody-
gone to shit.
somebody like said it's really bad over there, and I was mentioning this, and this isn't me picking on you, Pete. Please don't take it like that. But I went over there and I was like, it can't be that bad. And I was just like, and once again, the vast majority of people in the comments page are being really cool and like, talking about like how much they like the comic book and things like that.
Mhm.
And then, but there's just like that random 1 out of 15, 16, 17 people who feel that it's fun to talk about rape. And
Yeah, I know.
it's just like, why do you think like, oh, cool, this is like the safe locker room where we can talk about all the things that we,
And it sucks because the game's got enough in its content alone to bring on some heated discussions, and the people that just add that fuel to the fire don't help at all. And that's a big reason why this is a Kickstarter exclusive campaign, because we don't want a store to have this on their shelf that maybe didn't understand what this game is actually all about.
CBS exclusive.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's a reason we did this campaign the way we did it, and yet even doing everything we can to just try to focus on the game and whatnot, you're always going to get people that are going to bring out the most vile and the most, grotesque or graphic parts of the actual content and bring that to the forefront of the conversation. And nothing you can do about it. You just sit back, you let the game hopefully speak for itself, and you just kind of ignore those people, and they tend to go away a lot quicker than if you try to troll them or talk back to them. So, yeah, that's probably why you haven't seen a lot of activity from us on that front. We just, let it run its course. We'll let the game do its thing, and move on.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
What are you checking out the comments?
No, I saw some of the comments. It was something else. I just saw an actual video.
You just got a whiff of some smoke from his room, and it just whoa.
No, I just saw a video of Lance from 8 years ago, dressed in a nice button-up shirt, reviewing Pit.
Wow.
I posted my review of Pit, and that's the most recent review. Is 8 years ago, and it's Lance on Vimeo.
So what does older Lance look like? I didn't see that video.
Older Lance looks like this.
His hair is luscious.
Luscious. I'm gonna do a search now for Pit. I gotta see this.
Let's get over ourselves just a little bit.
You have the most recent review of that. How do you feel about that 8 years ago?
Well, Pit is a fun game.
I love that game. I'm taking your throne. It's every 8 years we're going to post a review. Somebody's going to do it. So do you think that there's any, Pete, in the future, there's going to be any other darker games that are like that, where it's just Kickstarter exclusives based on the success of this, or is that way too early?
I don't know. I mean, this was a specific situation where we have a relationship with Adrian Smith because he's done art for a lot of our other games. And then he, to be able to do a project that he was associated with, this was just a kind of a one-time thing. I don't know if this is going to start a trend for us. I mean, it'll all depend on the numbers. I mean, if the numbers back it up, then yeah, we probably pursue other titles. But if it doesn't, then we'll go back to doing what we've been doing, which has been working for us so far. So, I mean, a lot of our content. We have a lot of games that kind of ride the edge of mature content. The Others was not a game for families, and even games like Rising Sun and Green Horde have some sort of graphic violence to it. But this one, this like The Others, this is kind of goes a little bit above what you would consider normal or acceptable, graphic violence, or even games like Conan had a lot of nudity and graphic violence. They just weren't in your face as much as a game like this is.
Well, I dig it. I think more diversified games is just going to draw up more of a crowd that might not necessarily get into games.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're gonna pull some people into board gaming that maybe are fans of the graphic novel that weren't big into board gaming before. And, a lot of games do that, though. A lot of different types of games can do that. So, I mean, we're no different. It's just a different genre you're pulling from. That's all.
It's riveting radio.
Yeah. I'm somebody else can be the straw that stirs the drink.
I was waiting for Lance to go, well.
Yeah, it's usually what it does. I mean, you are the host of this show, are you not?
Shut up.
You should be proud. You got me to back 3 games on Kickstarter right now after nothing for 2 months. So
I backed a lot this week too.
Gentis, what else?
You get this Travis's first game there for his new company,
Legends.
Western Legends, and the Valeria Card Kingdoms expansion. Yes.
This week was extremely expensive for me.
I haven't backed the Scarlet Pumpernickel yet because I like the cartoon. I like the cartoon and everything, but I don't really need a Daffy Duck board game. So
it isn't a Daffy Duck board game.
It's a Scarlet Pumpernickel. I can't read anything but that thanks to that cartoon from me.
I backed 6 games this week after not backing anything for like the last 5 months.
Wow.
I backed the Western Legends. I backed Hate, but I backed that for $1 just to be able to follow the Kickstarter. So if there's any information I needed from it, I backed Highlander, the board game. U-Boot, the board game.
U-Boot thing looks insane.
It does look good. I'm excited. It's like a more strategic Captain Sonar.
It looks hard, but it looks neat.
It does look hard, but I'm actually excited about it. With app integration stuff. I think that game's going to be awesome. I backed Rambo, the board game, and then I backed Fourth Quarter Football Gridiron Miniatures.
Rambo, the board game. I saw Aldi back that, and I was like,
I couldn't help it. I don't know if the game's any good or not, but Rambo was one of those movies that distinctly brings me back to my childhood. So this one's more of a nostalgia. Whether the game's good or not, I don't even care. I'll get the minis painted. It'll be one of those games I may play a couple times, and if it's good, great. But that's a bonus. This is a game I want in my collection.
Very good. Since Lance didn't say it.
Lance fell asleep.
No, I'm right here.
He's back there in the catacombs.
Yeah.
It's getting old.
Does anybody know anything about the Scarlet Pimpernel? I saw a lot of people back it really quickly, but it doesn't show me much about the gameplay. So
I saw them when they announced it at Gamma on the Dice Tower and the BGG feed. I was like, not interested. You know what's weird about that thing? I went with the Kickstarter. So Ian O'Toole did the art, but it doesn't look like Ian O'Toole art.
Peter
It
O'Toole,
almost looks like,
my favorite year?
No. It's Peter O'Toole.
Yes, I know. That's why I said Peter O'Toole.
No, Ian O'Toole.
Peter O'Toole?
No.
Peter O'Toole?
No, your Tool.
Like the band?
Okay.
I've been
Anyway,
waiting for a new album from them for so long.
So the artwork looks like someone trying to do Ian O'Toole artwork.
Like, are we still talking about Tool, the band?
Have you been waiting for the longest time?
Yes.
Oh.
All right, Ian O'Toole art. I'm stepping all over Anthony's conversation. Go ahead.
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
I'm done.
I'm done.
I already made my point.
Screw you. Ah.
Okay, it's just gonna be the Lance show now. Forget the Lance and Ants.
Yeah.
We're breaking up, Jerry.
Anyway, well, you know what? Does anybody have any grievances?
I have a grievance.
All right.
I'm looking at Kickstarter and I see the dumbest looking game at $76,000, and I don't know why. Can somebody explain it?
What game is it? I'll look it up.
The Shared Zone, the Devil's Level card game.
What the frick did you just say?
DA, share, capital Z, ZERO, the Devil's Level card game.
264% already in only a couple days, 3 days.
I'm guessing adult party game without even looking at it.
It's $76,000 and it looks stupid.
The Devil's Level is a tabletop card game where two players battle life's challenges to achieve the ultimate state of chill.
Whoa, you have to control your horny level and genius level. I think they did they spell genius wrong?
Yeah, if the game is for two players or more, probably PROBLY, as much as 8 players.
I'm going to guess that this is artificially inflated by someone.
You don't have to be a zone head.
No, there's 345 backers at $27 for this thing.
Yeah, this is. I'd almost want to say that they're misspelling crap on purpose for this like flair of like a pothead.
I don't understand why people are backing this. Someone explain it to me. That's my grievance.
I'm looking at the comments now to see if there's like some reason this is doing so well.
Is it an IP I don't know of that is out there, or this is one of those campaigns that should have like 37 cents? That's why I'm so confused.
The best part is the comment section. So this is
I'm reading it now.
Just dropping in and saying, "What the fuck? Why is this game getting backers?" And then kick ads.
No, this one's great. In for 69 quotations, nice dollars.
Keep kicking ass. KICKEN.
That's awesome.
Somebody else like
delete
delete comments Kickstarter.
Hope I can play on 420.
That must KICKEN must be in the thing somewhere.
You must get a free bag with every purchase.
The funny thing is, I want to know what the admin got rid of. Because there's all these comments about great job, admin. Keep up the good work.
Thanks, admin. Keep kicking ass.
The updates are for backers only, so you can't read them.
Somebody backing for $1.
Let's say, so where do I put my address? I will write YUOU to ask for it when the Kickstarter ends.
Keith, the updates aren't backers only because I just clicked on updates and it shows update 1 just turned it on, update 2 funded and stretchable number 1.
Yeah, but then there's no content. It just is for backers only. That's just the title.
Oh, it does say backers. Okay, I didn't see that part. For me, to be honest, as well as this Kickstarter's run, I would assume maybe that was all the content in the update.
MacGyver here. Actually, no, I guess it'd be Sherlock Holmes. It's the guest artist. Natalie D, the first one has 140 Twitter followers. The second one has 1 million Twitter followers. I'm going to guess this is going to get sold based on the artwork and them sharing it. Because I really guess going down this list, these artists have a whole bunch and people will just buy it strictly because it's their favorite artist.
Which would explain... Yeah, so that would explain that for 76,000, that's not a lot. If 1 million followers and you even get 10% of those people backing this, that's going to push it well over that.
The second guy, Drill, has 1.01 million Twitter followers.
It makes me want to punch myself.
So the key to a successful board game, get one artist with a huge fan base and have him share your campaign.
Well, at least to make
they got a whole bunch of them, looks like.
Yeah.
It's a travesty.
I'm getting Bansky to illustrate my game.
All the pics on the cards are totally legit, new as hell.
Oh
my God!
It should be a 37-cent backed game. It makes me want to cry. Now I want to go retreat back from board games because of this.
I'm happy for Western Legends, though. Travis's game's doing really well.
Well, yeah, because that looks like fun, not stupid.
It does look like fun. I'm really excited about that, actually. I wish I'd got to play it when he had it last, but it does look like a really cool idea. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, he's having play sessions up in Indy, and I'd love to swing up there to try it, but I can't even get up there to go play something with James, who's been asking me to come up. So I just don't have any time to escape town right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is that? Who's listening to what?
Who's listening to what?
I hear somebody listening to something.
Must be Lance.
Must be.
Yes.
Anybody else play anything interesting?
Other than Charterstone? No, not this week. Oh, wait, no, I take that back. I played a game called Bastion, which was a tower defense game. It was actually really good. I enjoyed it. It's a neat take on tower defense. Uses a lot of Euro-style mechanics, but still fits very thematically with a medieval, with magical, mystical, fantasy tower defense game. It was real good. I highly recommend it. That's it, though. That's all I played this week was Bastion and Charterstone.
Apparently, Aldi can't get his mic to work, so he's not going to be back, I don't think.
Damn it, Aldi. We wanted to quiz him why the FBI's after him.
I got the Kingsburg, the new version of Kingsburg, which is pretty damn awesome aside from the artwork. Like it has
did they actually change
so
anything?
It's just like Kingsburg.
No. They made it. They took the original distinctive artwork and were like, you know what? Let's go with the 2002 dry Euro artwork, and so it's boring dry Euro artwork, but they have all the expansions. They got everything in there, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, so if you have all the expansions, I have no reason to buy it then.
Yeah, it's got everything. It's even
got a new scenario. I have everything already, so there's no reason for me to get it.
There's a new scenario and crap your artwork. What more do you want?
No, I don't know.
I do have a grievance.
Okay, go ahead.
Now looking at Kickstarter page, it reminds me that I still haven't heard a damn word about my airlines copy from Golden Egg Games that was supposed to be out 2 years ago and is not had an update in over 5 months now from their Kickstarter page.
What game?
Airlines by Golden Egg Games, Elad Goldstein.
Yeah, that's weird because they just released the game at Gen Con and Essen that really good deck builder one.
2016 Essen, they had copies of Airlines for sale at Essen. 2017 Essen, they were selling copies of Airlines at Essen. Yet they said that the backers' copies wouldn't be delivered until September of 2017. October of 2017 was the last update on the Kickstarter page saying fulfillment will be starting soon. And it is now January of 2018. We've heard nothing since October. Since pre-Essen, where
so
he was selling copies.
2 years behind?
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to deliver in like June of 2016.
That's amazing.
Yeah. There's like hundreds of comments on the Kickstarter page for that game. That's all people just up in arms. Apparently, if you try to message Elad on their Facebook page, he blocks you. And if you send an email or message to them, I've sent 3 already in the last 2 years. Not one response from anything.
I want to see if I can get a review copy just so I can send it to you, Pete.
Well, thank you. I'd appreciate that.
That sucks because I really like a lot.
He's a nice guy.
On the show.
I know everyone says in person he's a super nice guy, but whatever happened with this particular campaign, he is completely just dropped any responsibility. He's taken his name off the Kickstarter page and put his wife's name instead. So he's doing something. And apparently he left New York and is back in Israel now, so no one can get a hold of him. And he's completely dropped off the face of the earth, and he's not responding to the Kickstarter page, his company's website, or email. So most people are thinking that he is just going to not fulfill this game, which is going to completely basically bury Golden Egg Games, because once people spread word like stuff like for this stuff happening, it's going to be really bad for him.
Alaboom road trip. Let's do it.
It's crazy.
We all got passports, I think.
Yeah, I do.
I do.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about the guy in person, but his handling of this particular campaign, I don't even care about my $65. I'm more principled now. I want, and the worst part of the whole thing is on his Kickstarter page for Airlines, he offers a 100% money back guarantee because they've said that they've already done production. In 2015, when this game went on Kickstarter, we've already started production. This game is coming to life. This is, and then so we have a 100% guarantee that if you're unhappy with the game or for whatever reason, you contact us to get your money back. Over 100 people on the Kickstarter campaign have tried contacting for money back. Not one person's gotten a response. Pretty bad. Just check out the BGG page or the Kickstarter page, and you'll see a lot of hate going Elad's way right now.
Look at that plug again.
Yeah, just plugging again, huh?
Hey.
I nearly as a grievance, just because it's things that happen. All kinds of. I've complained about this a great deal, but dropping my son off at school earlier this week, I'm not a person that gets angry or yells or screams at anybody very often, if at all. And as we stopped and I pulled up alongside the sidewalk where I dropped him off inside the parking lot, and I got out of the car and he unbuckled and he got out of the car, and I have him get out on my side just so I can help him with his stuff or whatever. And normally people are very respectful and they give lots of room, but some idiot in a giant pickup truck wasn't paying attention to what he was doing. And it wasn't like even they were going like 5 miles an hour in a parking lot where there's like hundreds of kids walking and getting dropped off. They were going like, 15, 20 miles an hour trying to get into like this spot. It isn't even a spot where you're supposed to drop off kids. It's like it's the crosswalk area, and like came within about an inch of running into my son, and I grabbed him by the jacket and I pulled him back, and I got him in his backpack, and I was like, all right, I said, I got him on the side, I stay here for a second, and yeah, I went over and gave that guy. I was just shaking angry. I thought I was going to end up in a fight in the parking lot of the school, but I think the guy was scared because I was like, "What the?" You know, you can use the colorful language. I was like just screaming at him, and I felt bad because his kids were there, but I was just like, this is the image of my son getting smacked by a guy who isn't paying any attention to what's going on. But he was like, I didn't see him. I have no idea what you're talking about. I was just like, oh God, I want to like grind your face on the ground. But I just, so that was interesting. Just hate. It's like the people at that school as far as like just their idiocy. It's just take your time. If you're in a hurry, tough luck. Just get kids dropped off. But yeah, that was me. That's my grievance.
That's a good grievance. I don't disagree.
I would have done the same thing. I would have gotten in a fight if that guy mouthed off at all.
Yeah, I was like, if he had said anything like, get the fuck out of here, I would have been like, okay, here we go.
It's on.
Nobody threatens my kids. I probably would have stabbed his tire. Straight there.
And then told him robots are going to do his job.
No, you gotta oversimplify everything. I'm just saying you're a bigger man than me. I would have cursed him out, and then I would have stabbed his tire, like right there. I would have walked away.
You have a knife on you at all times?
Yeah, I got a pocket knife on my keychain.
Oh.
You never know when you're gonna need to stab somebody.
Keep the robots away.
Cheech is walking around. I'll get you for.
No, it's only about like this big, but it do the trick.
Are you still talking about your knife?
No.
I will say this: we got a lot of really good comments to Cheech's robots are taking over the world mindset on the Boom page.
I mean, we got actual comments. Don't you mean like from outer space?
Regardless of what you think about it, it's still an incredibly interesting topic. Like, there's no. It just is. It's just fascinating that we're even at a point where we could debate something like that. It's just cool.
It's fine. I'm inspired by your futurist mentalities.
If I could hire some good robots to replace some of the bad people I've got running around the plant sometimes, my job would be way the hell easier.
What was I going to say?
I don't know.
No, I had something I was actually going to talk about, and then I just blank. My mind has just.
I'm just waiting for you to actually fall asleep laying back there.
I know.
I already. I
out of it tonight.
The reason why I had this rolling right at 9 was I honestly fell asleep on the couch. You have my wife to thank that there's even a Boom. She was like, "Honey, don't you have a podcast to do?" Well, I'm fine. She's fine.
She's going, why don't you just have her come down, fire it up, and get on here and air grievances? I got some grievances about this husband of mine.
Oh, she had a few, I'm sure. No, so I mean, what was it? God, there was something. It was on the tip of my tongue too, and I can't. No, God, I can't. Talk amongst yourselves. I'm thinking here.
I got some interesting news that I've been reading up about. There might actually be an upcoming competitor to YouTube, which is yes.
Nothing. How is anything going to compete with YouTube?
Because they're owned by Amazon.
That doesn't make any difference.
That does. That's the only reason. That is the only reason that YouTube is up, is because they have no competition. They don't actually make money off YouTube. They break even.
Well, you know who owns YouTube, right?
Google.
Yeah. And Google owns everything.
They don't own Amazon.
Well, no.
Twitch is going to now allow not just live content, but actually uploading videos.
Actually, Twitch has been allowing uploading of videos for quite a while now.
Yeah.
The problem there is that nobody is going to go to Twitch and set up an account.
No, they already have these preloaded Twitch accounts.
Well, okay, that's fine. But here, think of it this way. I mean, it's just like there's so many years of people that are on YouTube. That's where people go.
right? That's where people go to, and so okay, yeah. I mean, admittedly, Amazon can just spiral just money down the toilet into it for years,
Right.
Trying to gain traction. So, yeah, in like maybe 5, 6, 7, 10 years or whatever, they might have something that comes close to what it is. But I mean, it won't happen. I mean, it's just there's too much stuff on YouTube.
Overall, it's not going to kill it, but it's going to become an alternate. What I'm seeing is there's some channels that I watch that are starting to copy some of their content over and post it on Twitch as well, because Google/YouTube, whatever you want to call them, has been issuing account strikes to a lot of channels and then locking channels and things for content that may be politically objectionable to some viewers. And so these guys are starting to look for alternate avenues to be able to host their content so they don't just get locked out. I am seeing some people starting to copy their content over there, but it's not really competing. It's just an alternate for people that are fighting with YouTube. Whereas with Twitch, you can get people to actually donate and finance you directly and donate to your channel, versus with, of course, YouTube, you've just got to be a monetized channel to try to make money and get a couple million subscribers and hope you stay monetized.
I would just like to say this. I think it's absolutely amazing that Vimeo still exists. Because who uses them?
People that can't use YouTube.
You do. Hit 10 years ago.
Yeah. The reason why, because Vimeo allowed you to have more than a 5-minute video back then.
Yep, that was why, because you weren't under the restriction. That's why some people started at Vimeo.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that it's going to destroy them. I just said they might have a competitor.
Oh wait.
I also think Twitch is going to be run by robots pretty soon. So.
Just oversimplify it.
Forrest, I'm ready. Whatever you got.
I'm surprised you can actually say the word oversimplify there, Forrest.
Wow.
Somebody actually called out Forrest in the comments, and I'd like Forrest to actually respond to this. They said, Forrest, you have kids, right? Well, just quit your job and go on welfare. Then you can do nothing all day.
My wife makes too much money. I would be more than happy to. I would love to spend all day with my kids and feed off the government. I personally, I don't. Oh, what? I am big enough to admit that. Most people would not admit that. I would have absolutely no problem living off the government, and because a lot of the kids that go to my school, they do that. They have moms who they drive nice cars and they do this, they do that. They go to trips because they got a baby daddy.
I'm getting in my car, I'm driving to Fort Wayne, and I'm going to smack Forrest in the mouth.
If the system is there to be exploited, I would like to be exploited. I would like to see the system fixed. But if it's there to be exploited, I see no problem.
You're not fixing anything if you're exploiting it, though.
Yeah, just put
not
deep
a
in
politician.
debt.
It's not my job.
You guys aren't going to be able to reason with Forrest. It's the same guy that bought 8,000 gallons of Doritos to get 4 Xboxes.
Just put your foil hat on and just enjoy it.
Yes, I would absolutely, if I could, go on that and enjoy the next 16 years of my kids growing up. And I would not care about sucking off thousands of dollars.
I love your hat.
See, this is why my plan that all unemployment has to be paid by going to a job and just sitting in a room staring at a wall if you don't have a job, just so you can't goof off to get paid by the government.
Well, okay, so here's the question. I want to address what Keith just said. So what you're saying is that if you are getting unemployment or you're getting welfare or something like that, you have to go somewhere.
Yes, you have to do something.
So, but like a lot of people, like the argument I think would be that like a lot of people would say that I'm on welfare because I have 3 kids and my husband left me high and dry and I got nobody to watch them. So
that's the only way that I can actually, have a home and like feed them, and so they have to leave and find babysitting for them, which
So
kind of like,
if you got kids, you can take them with you to the room to sit in.
okay. So not only are we going to be giving them, okay, so let me get this straight. So not only then are we,
Haven't you heard of sweatshops?
Hey! Not only are we then giving them money, but we also have to give them a place where they can sit, where they have lights, where they have heat, where they have food, where they have all these things.
I mean, food.
No, I'm not feeding them.
But you're doubling down. You're doubling down on the costs of the situation.
Oh, so you're going to actually they have to work to maintain the place themselves.
It's not working. They go and sit in a chair somewhere, sit on their phone.
Let's get to
what
work.
are you going to do? Take away your cell phone?
Whatever. It's better than watching Oprah. Well, I know she's retired or whatever. Still, you get the point.
I think there's a big difference between unemployment and welfare. Because to get unemployment, you had to have worked for a certain period of time.
That's true.
I mean, yes, you can still goof off, and I did. I played World of Warcraft. I played Call of Duty all the time. I did go to college and complete my degree, but most of it was spent drinking and having fun and playing games.
It was a lot of drinking involved. No, so
there's a lot of drinking.
No, so okay, so here's like one of the things about like that I always. So, like, in the state I live in, Minnesota, they have one of the, like, most... It is a very liberal state, and it is well known for its very lenient and giving welfare / unemployment programs and things like that. So, and I think I've talked about this before. So, like, the beet season, which I'm going to say that, and people are going to be like, what? So, every year... Up here, there's sugar beets. Sugar beets are a huge, it's a huge crop up here, and it's just so they, when they come beginning of fall around September, October, the sugar beets are ready to be harvested. So for about 6 to 8 weeks, depending upon weather, people get a job, and a lot of it is just driving truck, where they drive a beet truck. They basically drive it behind the piler, and the beet truck gets filled with the beets in the back, and then they drive the beet truck to the beet refinery, and they drop it all off, and they go back and they do the same thing, and they do it over and over and over again, and they work like 14-hour days doing it. So they get a ton of overtime, and they make a ton of money. And there's people that will take leave of absences from their real job, or they'll take vacation from their real job to go and work beets, and they'll just do it because you can clear, several $1,000s in that short period of time. And all you're doing is just basically driving a truck. So the thing is that there's basically what happens then is that according to the Minnesota labor, basically, okay, so what did you do? Well, I worked the last 6 weeks, and I was, because of all the hours you worked, and because if you work on Sundays, it's time and a half, and all the overtime, so you were working, 75-hour weeks or whatever at, $20 an hour. So they look at how much they made during that short period of time, and their unemployment check is just a ton of money. Yeah,
it's amazing.
It's just this fat unemployment check, and as long as you can show, and basically you don't even have to go to the unemployment office, you just fill out a form online, you can get unemployment up until about early August. So basically there's these people that they work beets for 6 weeks, and then they don't work at all again for the entire year. And then come August, they figure out something to do for basically 30 days, just to basically pay the rent and everything like that, and then they just go back to working beets. That's what their life is.
True American heroes. They figured out the system, figured out how much they had to work. I mean, the system's there to be exploited. Exploit it.
No, it is not. It's not there to be exploited. It is there for people that need it.
Tell me the difference.
The difference is,
please get Bernie Sanders on the show so he can say to Bernie Sanders that you should exploit the system.
I'm all.
I mean, I have no issue with programs to help people that can't help themselves. Government funded daycare so that parents can work. I would happily pay taxes to fund that than to pay people to sit at home and do nothing. And it's not even that. So my struggle with this is because I live in a town where there are people that are able-bodied that could work, that sit home and draw unemployment when there are more jobs open than bodies to fill them. And so you can't get employees because the unemployment is so low here. And you've got people that'll just go work somewhere long enough to get fired and draw unemployment. And that's crap. You shouldn't be able to just do that and live off the government teeth. Because you're not living off the government teeth. You're living off of my teeth.
I feel like this episode of
government.
I think you can. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, come on! That was a perfect thing where we could have lied and said we didn't. Way to go.
Yes, you sound much better.
Yes.
And this is too political.
I think
for
I
me
missed
to
all the
even
good
get, but
stuff.
it does irritate me so much when
All right,
I know.
so
people
wait,
By the way, I agree with you, Keith.
Everybody,
Go into a room every day for 5 hours or whatever it is.
everybody,
Sounds good to me.
shush. Everybody, shush. Barry,
What?
take it over. Yeah, we got away from doing the Barry Barry highlights, so it's 10:20. Barry has the floor for 20 minutes. He can ask us questions. He can talk about the topic. It's the Barry 20. Everyone, go ahead.
Set a 20-minute timer.
So, Aldi, what's your...
Did not say 420 there for us. I said the Barry 20.
All right, Aldi. So
I wanna
what's
make sure
your
he gets the
opinion on
full
the
20.
unemployment thing?
I only heard the end of it, but they do what they do to the teachers, right? They make them go to work and do stuff not in the classroom.
What teachers are you talking
Exactly.
about?
Is that a thing in
Teacher
Texas?
union. You guys never heard? You guys
Teachers
got to watch
who-
some stuff about the teacher union, man.
I'm just telling you,
I don't
my
wanna-
dad,
all right,
my
so the
dad,
teachers-
my father
Treat
was.
unemployment the same way. Make them go
Just
to
hold
a.
on. I don't know where you live.
Lance.
But my father was the head of the teacher union for decades in North Dakota, and they didn't do that during the summer. They didn't have to work. They didn't go in and do anything. He and like
No. That's not what it is. No, that's not what it is. The thing
What?
is that teachers who have reached a certain level and they don't have a class for them to teach, they still get paid, but they're
Yeah.
required to go and sit in a room basically
all day.
for the amount of time that the school day is, so they can collect their check. But they don't do anything. They don't actually work. It's
See,
like
they
when they
don't-
used
they
to
don't
pay
do that in
farmers
North Dakota.
not to grow stuff.
They as far as I know, they do not do that in North Dakota. Maybe they do it in Minnesota, but I would sincerely doubt they do that in Minnesota.
They may not have
You're
the
an anti-union state,
overabundance of teachers in North Dakota to do it. But I'm just saying, in New York, they do it.
Yeah, they do it
There's a
in Indiana.
documentary about it.
So then, do they
Waiting
use
for
those people as
Superman or something
subs
like that.
instead of subs, or do they just sit?
Yeah, if they don't need a sub that day, you
It's
sit
super
there.
hard to fire a
They
teacher.
don't even like
in the
train
union.
them or something.
No.
They just sit there.
They
I
sit
do
there.
at least think they could send them around.
No, they basically.
Crap.
There's some documentaries out there that talk about education in America. They're very eye-opening.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh, yeah.
terrible. It is.
The
I mean,
education sucks. Yeah.
I'm on the ground floor. It's terrible.
That's right.
Nowadays, that sounds like
Use
a
the
sweet gig,
system.
though.
Hey,
Just
you know what
bring
they
your
say?
laptop in, sit in an empty room, and play video games all day and get paid for it.
Hey, you know what they say? Those who can do, those who can't teach, those who can't teach anyway. So,
I've been thinking about that a lot, actually. Like, if I'm in the history, so you hear about these letters that people in the Civil War were writing home, just general soldiers, and it makes me wonder: is the education of our country declining that rapidly? Like,
Yes.
every generation is
Compared to other
getting,
countries.
yeah.
Yeah. What are we ranked 19th or 20th in the world in education?
Well, I mean,
check
I
it
could
again.
talk about this literally for hours because we've debated in classes for hours, but it essentially boils down to we're not spending enough money, and the policymakers are not teachers, they're not principals, they're dumbasses in Washington on both sides who know nothing about teaching children, who are making these policies and force feeding what we were supposed to teach and how we were supposed to teach it to these children, standardized testing, all this stuff, which goes completely against the grain of years and years and years and decades of learning how children actually learn. And we're just like,
See, now I agree with Forrest.
Boy, aren't you conflicted, Keith?
I also will say, I agree that if people had to go through more of that strenuous stuff for unemployment, less people would do it. Now, I would be a soldier and I'd sit there for 5 hours. I wouldn't care because I'd take my money. But it would get bored because right now all you have to do is you have to say that you applied for 2 jobs a week every Sunday. And so what I would do generally is I'd apply. There's a website I used to go to which was only jobs that were $100,000 or more paying. And I would apply for 2 of those a week. And I never got one, unfortunately.
They should hire you to figure out ways that the system can be exploited.
Yeah, like a code breaker.
Chop those holes.
Like you know how you hire the hacker to protect your computer.
Yeah,
like hire Forrest to like make your government not be exploited.
But Forrest is right. The standardized.
I love last week was so great. I'm so sad to have missed last week's conversation.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Barry's time. Still keep going, Barry.
Oh no, Keith was going to say something good.
Yeah, so Forrest was talking about how the standardized tests and stuff. I swear my kids spend a huge amount of their school year doing nothing but learning how to take this effing test instead of actually learning stuff, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And my kids actually do okay, but no, we have to learn how to take the test so the school gets the funding by scoring high enough to get their stuff. So if your school scores really high, you can get more money. But if your school sucks at scoring, you can't get funding. But if your school sucks at scoring, you probably need funding so you can fucking teach the kids.
It's not just that either. I mean, there's still states that do not require kindergarten, which if you have a kindergartner, it's unfathomable. The fact that they would just send a kid to first grade who has never had any school whatsoever, and it's like, how is that still a thing? Oh my God! And where I'm from, Indiana, oh God, this is the thing that bugged me more than anything else in the entire. I'm going to be a teacher for a long time. Hopefully, you cannot hold back a child anymore without permission from the school and the parents. That is not something you can do. You shove them forward, and we give them more help, but that more help eats away in their time in the next grade. Oh my God. It is a giant clusterfuck. It is terrible, and our entire educational system needs to be torn down over the course of 18 years and built back up. And nobody's ever going to do it. Nobody's ever going to do it, but it's only getting worse. It really is.
Forrest, do you see, like, my grandmother helped me as much as she could when I was in school, but she only had a 6th grade education or something, so I was way past her, when I was young. But do you see parents helping the kids as much, or do you see them taking a laid-off approach with education?
It depends on the parents. It really does. I mean, some of them are incredibly laissez-faire. I've done parent-teacher conferences like, that's why we send them to you. And it's like, yeah, but this is kind of a two-way street here, because if you don't do damn thing at home, your kids aren't going to do it here. And
are you at a charter school or public school?
Right now, I work at daycare, which is connected to the public school, but that's only because of something Keith hit on, which is the fact that I have to pay weekly childcare for my 2-year-old. I pay $190 a week, and that is half off.
Yeah.
Childcare $800 a month.
Yeah.
So $800 a month, half off, $1,600 a month, full price.
Yes, I pay $440 for my mortgage every year. I pay more just for my son to go to childcare. It's ridiculous. Until they get into public schools, it is absurdly expensive.
$440?
He means a month, not a year.
I need some friends that need to move to Indiana.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, cheapest cost of living in America.
For a house, $440?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's a nice house. It's a huge house. I got 3 bedrooms, 2 baths.
I've got a friend down the street paying $1,200 a month for like a pile.
Really?
You're a pile.
Yeah, but Barry, it really depends on the parents. I mean, I can't speak to, what it was like 10, 15 years ago because I wasn't around back then to really see. And I also deal with a lot of lower income kids, and I mean, most of those are a lot less hands off, and a lot of them they work crappy jobs, and so when they get off of work, they don't want to have to force their kids to read or do homework or do this. They want to have fun time with their kids, which is understandable, but
yeah,
you got to be the parent.
It probably worked too.
You all are talking a lot during Barry's 20, just so you know.
Well, I asked them to. I was just wondering because my nephew goes to a charter school up in Philly, and I had trigonometry. I was pretty good at math, so I had trigonometry in like my second year in high school or something like that. But he was asking me to help him with math, and I was looking at it, he's doing something. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, this is new math. And I'm like, what the fuck is new math?
You know? Dude, go try to learn math from that fucking, what is it? What's it called? It's got a name. Common Core.
Oh, you think that's bad? Try to
I mean, obviously it's a different way of thinking, but for people who learned math growing in my era, 70s, it's crazy.
Those teachers, we have to learn 4 different ways to teach every single type of math. 4 ways to multiply, 4 ways to add, 4 ways to subtract.
Why is that?
It's insane. Insane.
And you'll still use your iPhone to do 20% tips or 15% tips or calculate change because the button tells you. Won't matter.
Well, that's
we're going towards the robot future, man, where everything is told to you by a computer.
We're not back on that, Aldi. Too bad.
Somebody.
I know. Oh my god! I wish I was in that conversation. So bad. Right,
yeah, but my brother was
moving on.
They don't learn their times table anymore. They depend on.
Why do you need to know your times tables?
I will say the times table that is one thing that makes sense because the times table is just memory. It's just what is 7 times 7? Whereas they actually want the kids to be able to figure out how they got to 7 times 7 with the hopes that they'll be able to figure out, 17 times 17.
Yeah.
So I understand that it's about the process, but a lot of it is really stupid.
Yeah, it's just like I said, weird. Well, we grow up differently too. But do you think these new systems are advantageous to the kids or a detriment?
Well, they're trying to teach the process, which I think is a good thing. Because, I mean, I imagine all of us play board games, and we all know that there's people at the table who, they can't do the simplest math when it comes to, I'm adding up my score here. And that's because they learned the timetables instead of actually learning how to multiply properly. So I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily, but it does look stupid a lot of the time.
I don't know with the calculator thing. I think they're just too dependent on a machine.
In life, if you want to be an engineer, you have to know math.
Yeah. Which is what
all the people that make the robots are engineers.
Yeah.
What if you want to be a stripper?
You got to calculate your hourly rates and taxes and all that stuff. Still got to learn math.
Fair enough.
But less
the geometry of the pole.
I'll be sure to tell my kids that. Engineer, stripper, you're going to need to know this.
You better learn your percentages, man. That's the most important thing in life.
Dollar bills, y'all. How much time does Barry have?
Know the damn
Barry, you still have 8 minutes and a half. 8 minutes.
Okay. Trying to think here. Yeah, I was watching The Vault. Anybody see that?
No.
The movie. The Vault.
What is it?
The Vault.
No, what is it?
The
Vault.
It's a sequel to something, but I don't remember what the first one was. But you don't really need to see the first one to know the second one. The guy who played the Goblin in Spider-Man.
Green Goblin?
Franco. James Franco.
Oh.
The Goblin's kid. He was in
James Franco.
It's basically a bank heist that went seriously wrong with some.
Man, I love bank heist movies. I'm gonna watch it.
It's pretty interesting if you're into that type of thing.
Love it.
You like bank heist movies?
I get into
Ocean's 11.
Which one?
I read a graphic novel.
All of them. I like them all. Waiting for the next one.
Well, isn't there going to be like a? Aren't they having like an all-female cast Ocean's 11 or something like that?
That is in the pipes.
Is it all female? I thought they were just adding.
It's all female. It's only 8 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine.
Shouldn't it be Ocean's 8 then?
It doesn't matter. I'm all about the plots. I mean, I don't care who does them. Oh, I will miss Clooney. Clooney definitely.
Clooney, in it.
Made those movies for sure for me.
Yeah, Ocean's 8.
Okay. I'm fine with it.
Sandra Bullock, Kate Blanchett, Anne
Oh, you better be
Hathaway.
fine with it.
Why wouldn't I be?
Matt Damon's in it.
Matt Damon.
Sarah Paulson, Katie Holmes, Helena Bonham Carter,
Yeah.
Rhiannon,
And Oprah.
And Oprah.
Kylie Jenner, Kendall Jenner,
I thought Matt Damon was in the
Joyce
doghouse.
DeWitt,
Joyce DeWitt. Don't you mean
And Betty White.
Kardashian?
No, I'm just kidding.
That sounds like the kind of movie where I could see a cameo by Betty White. Totally.
Betty White, yep.
Joyce DeWitt.
I didn't like Logan Lucky, unfortunately. I mean, it was okay. That's a new heist movie. It just came out. Where's Wiggin when you need him, man? He watched like every movie last year.
You know,
Where does he find the time?
No, I mean that'll end now that he's got a kid. You know,
Yeah.
You might as well
And a job.
a kid and a job. Well, he went to every movie because his wife worked normal hours and he worked nights, right? So it was like,
Went to the movie during the day.
yeah. So he would just, what am I going to do today? Well, I'm going to go to a movie. You know,
I was going to ask him if his movies fell off the internet truck.
Well, that's always a
Or if he went to the
possibility.
theaters because he's watching like brand new. He's seen almost everything from last year.
I got a buddy that he pirates everything. I mean, like
internet truck.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I do. I pirate everything. I download everything illegally. I mean, it's just.
You may not want to say that out of.
I took my hat off too soon.
Wow,
I mean,
the sound you heard was my jaw
before
hitting the
I
floor.
do
With the resident weed meister and who wants to live off the government. Like,
Oh,
Well, I mean, just the process itself. I mean, I own all the DVDs, of course, so I can download them legally. Of
course.
oh yeah, okay.
But it's incredibly easy. I mean, you go to a site, you download it, you sit there for 15 minutes, and boom, you got it. And then if you've got like a fire broken, stick, I mean, it's stupid simple. I mean,
Yeah. Don't they drug test you with your job? No, I'm serious.
much to,
don't you know you can bring in a?
I'm going to say
You
something
can
crazy,
hide
but
it.
Lance heavily
You can hide it.
over-exaggerates a lot of things about my personal lifestyle.
No, I'm curious because I get drug tested all the time.
Okay. If that's where you want to go.
Huh?
When I'm on,
As-
yeah,
Or is that why you're not starting for the Patriots?
my current job does not drug test, but future
Yeah,
job-
that's why he works at the daycare portion.
Yeah.
They don't. If you wanted to actually use his teaching degree, then let's not get crazy.
Do you want to get high?
Speaking of, well, it's Barry's 20, but 2 more states did just legalize this past week.
You can legalize it all day long.
Once all these other states start
Companies
doing
can
this-
still say you can't smoke weed and work here.
Yeah.
Well,
And
because it's
eventually there's going
federally
to be
against the law.
giant
So.
Lawsuit.
Not only that, I agree with.
No, it's not going to be a giant lawsuit. What kind of lawsuit are they going to have?
It's going to go to the Supreme Court one day.
No, it won't. No, it won't.
Yes,
Okay,
it
here. You know why? You know why? Because I'm not allowed to show up for my job drunk off my ass. That's why.
But
And they
here's
can
the
fire me.
difference.
No, there isn't
just
a
because you
difference.
I
have
don't
it
think Tasty
system
Mitchell
does
would
not
care.
mean that you're high. That's not how it works.
There
This
isn't
is
a
not how
difference.
any of this works, Lance. You're totally out of your element with this.
Yes,
Yeah,
listen,
you
no,
really need to move-
No, listen to this. Listen to this. I can get fired from if I'm an alcoholic. I can get fired from my job just because of the fact that I'm alcoholic.
You talking about your bank job or Tasty Mitchell?
Or at my bank job, and also Taste Mitchell for that matter. I mean, it's just like if it's part of me, like the whole right to work state situation, where it's just like so.
Fired for any reason.
Yes,
Yeah, pretty much.
and so when you have the right to work, you're not going to get a lawsuit over it. So yes, you haven't shown up completely baked for work, but everybody knows that you get high all the time, and that just isn't something we want people to know or be associated with. So there's the door. We have an application for a pizza delivery that you can look for if you like. I mean, it's just
Lance, I think you severely underestimate how many people smoke marijuana.
I
I really
Yeah.
do.
almost every
Full
damn near
functioning adult.
damn near everybody I know does, but also damn near everybody I know also drinks a lot. So it's just it doesn't. But the thing is that if you are a mess outside of work, your work can fire you because of that.
Job.
And there's no way.
Just because you smoke weed doesn't mean you're a mess, though.
But
that's why most people smoke weed instead of drinking heavily.
Okay. Let's just. I'm going to explain something, and you can disagree with me, and that's fine. But here's the deal: is we can talk, and mind you, I don't give a shit if it's legal or not. If you want to do it, go ahead. I don't give a shit if it's illegal and you want to do it. Go ahead. You're not hurting me. You know. It doesn't, and I have no strong opinions either way. The only thing I think is just how ridiculous people that I know are when they're getting high, just because like how flabbergastingly weird they become, which is fine, whatever. I realize it isn't them; it's what they're being affected by. But the problem here is that just people, because of the fact that it is now becoming legalized, which great, fine, wonderful, super. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have a negative connotation if somebody is using it constantly. Alcohol is legal. If I have a friend who's getting drunk all the time, I'm going to be saying, "What the hell are you doing? You're a drunk." If I have a friend who's getting high all the time, I'm going to say, "What the hell are you doing? You are a baked waste." You know, it doesn't. And the thing is,
look at you, Forrest.
And the thing is that yes, you know, I have a brother who is a highly functioning alcoholic. I mean, like, he can drink all day long and you can't tell, but he's still an alcoholic, and it causes him problems. And I actually, you know what, I take a little bit of offense because you seem to think you're lumping me into this group of people that I'm like this anti-drug person. Like, I just don't understand. A lot of people do drugs.
No,
yes.
let me correct that. No, let me correct that. I don't assume that. You give off this impression that there is either, oh my God, I'm so high right now, I can't think of anything, and I don't smoke weed. The overwhelming vast majority of people are in the middle. Just like the overwhelming vast majority of people who drink alcohol are not fucking hammered.
Yes, but the one time, like, okay, fine, Forrest. But the one time you go out and so weed's legal where you are, but the one time you run into your boss, like, high, and they know, you could lose your job. Because they can just say, I don't want to be associated with that. Just like the one time they run into at a bar and you are drunk off your ass, they can say, I don't want to be associated with that.
And Lance, the other thing is that makes it more complex is they can drug test you even if it's legal in your state and fire you if they want to, because federally it is a Schedule I substance and it's illegal.
Right.
Yep. And so until the federal government changes that and moves it to a different schedule, it is going to be illegal. What's happened in Hawaii is Hawaii has legalized marijuana. You get a marijuana card. You're registered with the government as having a marijuana card. Hawaii is also a state where if you own a firearm, you are registered with the state for each firearm you own. The state has been going to doors after people got marijuana cards and took their firearms because federal law says if you use cannabis, you may not have a firearm per the law. So the federal government and even some state governments are going after people for cannabis use, even though the state has legalized it. Do I think it's right? Do I think you should just legalize cannabis, tax the shit out of it because it's no worse than booze? I'm all for it, whatever. But it is the law of the land. And so we've got to deal with that. So there are repercussions if you choose to use cannabis, potentially in your workplace, even if it's legal in your state.
And that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
I think it's going to eventually come to a head, and there will be a Supreme Court case. Maybe not in the next 5 to 10 years, but it's coming. Because it is not going to be Schedule I.
And then they're going to tax the shit out of
laws?
it, and you'll be paying $200 for a nickel bag.
No, because you can still grow it at home. I mean, I don't know. It's
no, because it won't be legal for you to grow your own.
That's what most of the states have it.
Buying alcohol is legal. It's still illegal to make your own.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Because
it'll be treated just like alcohol if it ever becomes
big business will get involved and they will not allow it to be homegrown anymore. They're
going to tax the shit out of it, and you're going to be paying $200 for a nickel bag.
Right. So
Forrest, Johnny.
Cost?
Forrest, the only chance you have for the Supreme Court to do anything is if they decide that the federal courts or that the federal government is interfering with the state's right, that the state's right outweighs the federal government's right to regulate marijuana. So if that's the only grounds the Supreme Court would have to do on it, because there's nothing in the Bill of Rights that says, you have a right to keep and bear cannabis.
And I'm telling you, I think that's going to happen because it's not a fun thing to talk about if you're anti-marijuana. There are states actively saying, hey, politicians, fuck you. We're not listening to you because we're making fat cash right now. Right. I think it was the people from Colorado, like the actual state of Colorado, like it's got its Twitter account, which is run by, I don't know, the people in there. Like the politicians, right. They pretty much just screw you. We are not helping you spend a dime to enforce anything.
And so the big trick with this is it doesn't even take Congress to legalize marijuana.
I think
because it is a policy. It is, it's coming out of DEA statutes and things like that with what they've classified it at. It's not classified through a law by Congress. It's classified by a DEA classification.
Well, that's going to change. There's
you
already
get a president that likes it and wants to. A president, executive order, done. That's all.
Forrest, that's it. Run for president, and you're all set.
Well, I thought
potentially you could do it that easily, but nobody
right now
wants
it's up there with heroin. It's ridiculous. It's going to get knocked down, not with Trump, but with whoever's next, Republican or Democrat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even Obama didn't make it go away, but you've got to get somebody that decides that they care enough about the issue one way or another to stick their neck out, and politicians don't want to stick their neck out for anything that doesn't toe the party line. So, and
you can't even Harrelson runs.
Yeah.
But I believe in the future will happen. Right now, I forget what the number is. It's like 70% of all the millennials think that cannabis shouldn't be a class 1 narcotic. We're run by social issues, gay marriages and all that. We've seen all that change because of the social climate. I think in the future it will change from a class 1 drug.
See, I'm all for it because I live in Indiana. We got a crap load of farmland that's grown a bunch of corn and stuff to feed cattle. My company could buy a bunch of farmland right around our facility and grow pharmaceutically tested marijuana to sell and make some money. So I'm all for it, right? We've already got our license to deal with the scheduled drugs. So I'm all for it.
But as much as I am with Forrest with legalizing it, I can see, like I've done it myself, trying to get off these narcotics and stuff. And me and Jen were driving home from the shore one day, and I smelled weed coming from the car in front of me. I think that guy should have been pulled over and arrested. It's the same as a DUI in my case. You got to be responsible.
Yeah, they've got to make sure they have the ability to test accurately for it on the spot, just like with alcohol, to deal with those type of things. And you got to figure out what a legal limit is and all that. And those are just some more of the things that complicate the road to legality for people. But, you could drive on freaking OxyContin all you want. You're not supposed to.
I have.
But it's harder to catch you doing it. And is that any dang different? Absolutely not. Of course it's no different.
So you could also get a DUI if they blood test you and it shows a high level. You could still get a DUI.
Yes, you could, but it's harder for them to get you with it.
It's harder because it doesn't show
it spot check and everything.
Right, they can't smell OxyContin on your breath.
They can barely convict DUI people. It's hard. Impossible.
If the DEA quit spending their time flying around looking for pot fields and prosecuting marijuana, all those resources could be diverted to dealing with, some of the more severe drugs or other crimes or something else. So
they're making too much money off of it.
Yeah, but it can be made other ways.
I agree with you, but like we talk about Colorado and all that, the funding they could get just from taxing that federally, let alone state,
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm a politician. I'm thinking, how do I fund my government? Oh, I will tax weed because I know I will make a bunch of money on it. So
maybe they can allow Toys R Us to sell it so they can not have to close like 200 stores nationwide.
Yeah,
I probably would not include some cannabis in Toys R Us, but it is what it is.
The Toys R Us here in Dallas turned into a liquor store.
Did it?
Yeah, there's an article on ICB2 about the Toys R Us closing 182 stores in North America. None of the Canadian stores, so they're all U.S. stores.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And
like every Toys R Us within an hour drive of me is closing.
Yeah, all the board game retailers are ecstatic because they're starting to really push a lot of the more hobby board games in Toys R Us. So a lot of the ones that
it sucks because it's the only place to find a lot of toys, which is going to really kind of suck. But then again, every Toys R Us I go to is kind of a shit show anyway. So,
well, what the article said is that they're going to close these 182 stores out of their 800 stores in the U.S. And then they're going to put the money that they're going to save from those stores into upgrading and making the experience in the other stores better. So basically, any Toys R Us that's within 15 minutes of another Toys R Us, they're going to choose the more profitable store and close the other one. So there won't be.
There is one staying open near me, and it's the shittiest one of the four.
So that one will end up getting a huge boost.
I've been in Toys R Us 5 years since my son has been alive. He's 5 years old, and each time it was a shit show. Yep. They're always understaffed. It seemed it takes forever to get through the checkout.
Oh, I've never seen a place take so long to check out.
I wanted to go to customer service 3 times on one trip because they kept screwing up a gift card, and I was like, "What the hell are you people doing?"
I'm trying to buy 2 amiibos. It takes me 20 minutes.
They were probably high. They couldn't do it.
We're lucky we have a good one here in our area, and there's not another one further than 100 miles, so they're not closing this one.
Are they going to hire robots to fill it?
You joke, but Amazon will win in the end.
Amazon already won.
They're claiming
Toys R Us broke off. I don't know what happened, but remember when Toys R Us was partnered with Amazon? You could buy like all their toys through Amazon.
Yeah, that they're saying they're citing Amazon and other online retailers as the main reason they're bankrupt.
Yeah.
Well, is that most people are wanting to buy online.
Yeah. Especially when you can try in less than 4 hours.
They're gonna try to increase the experience level in the stores now in order to retain people to make them come out and actually purchase physical. It'll be interesting.
That actually hurt us pretty bad when Toys R Us, Amazon lost Toys R Us. Because there was no board games to be had at that point on Amazon at all.
I'll be right back.
It went to zero literally overnight.
Wow.
So do you think Amazon, like I know they just opened up a big plant down in Middletown down here.
They're opening up a huge one down here
Jersey. Distribution, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think in the long run that's going to cause problems like a monopoly type deal? I know they're not there yet, but
no.
No?
I don't think so. Is it anti-monopolistic to ship things?
I mean, a lot of the Amazon sellers are third-party sellers, not Amazon. Right. So
yeah, that's true.
Amazon really kind of helps themselves by doing
it. It helps small business, right?
Oh, yeah, millions of them.
Yeah. So they kind of save themselves from being a monopoly because of so much of their content is not theirs. They're just the logistics person for a smaller company. Yeah. So I think that'll keep them from ever getting that monopoly status. And plus, eBay's not going anywhere anytime soon anyway. I mean, they're still a big entity in the market. And eBay, while maybe losing steam to Amazon, is still giant enough to be considered competition.
I'm waiting for Amazon to end up with their own shipping company and being done with it too.
They already have it.
I think it's coming.
Yeah,
it's called. I mean, Uber drivers.
Yeah.
When we did the charity fundraiser for Hurricane Harvey, I got 4 different guys driving up to my house in their own cars delivering games, right? Like 20 boxes in their back seat. I helped them unload.
Yeah, I seen like here.
It's already done. I mean,
I order from Amazon a lot, and I think it depends on where it comes from. It'll be either Amazon's private, like Uber type company deal, or UPS that'll drop it off.
Yeah, mine always comes UPS, USPS, where Amazon's milking the postal service because the postal service isn't smart enough to charge a decent rate, but that's their own fault.
Yeah, we don't have an Amazon postal yet, but one's coming.
What's that?
What?
Postal rates go up at the end of the month for packages.
Dude,
that's surprising. Stamps are 50 cents now. Actually, I had to buy a stamp. I haven't bought a stamp in a while. So
neither have I.
Well, no, it's for like parcels and stuff.
Yeah. Their rates were way under.
Yeah, we actually have to change the BGG store Because we used to do free shipping with like a couple bucks here and there, but now it's too expensive.
When did you do free shipping? I've never got free shipping.
I never got free shipping.
For small stuff.
You just treat me bad. That's
For
all.
small stuff.
Yeah, I never got it either.
It used to be like 99 cents, and it was like $4 for shipping. It was $5.
Yeah, I had to pay shipping for these
Charge
things.
like oh yeah, well, I'm talking about like when you buy like a single item that's a card or something. Those are.
I
free.
paid shipping every single time I bought something from the store. It was one item or
I
not.
want to look at your orders.
I think
And no,
Were they
and we used
more
to
than
know-
one thing? Were they more than one?
No, but
one
the
item?
thing is, we used to always say, people would say, "Oh, why do they charge so much for shipping?" I was like, because they're basically giving you the thing for free. You're paying the $5 for the thing. Yes, they're putting it in an envelope, and they're paying 77 cents to have it shipped to you in a padded envelope. But
Yeah, I'm giving you shit, but the shipping price
the
was
economics of shipping stuff sucks right now.
Oh yeah, it just keeps going up, and up, and up, because they lower the rate for Amazon.
Okay.
drones, baby.
I mean, we had a shipping and handling fee. That may be the confusion. We didn't charge actual shipping.
Oh,
yeah, I
The
was
shipping was free, but there was a $96 shipping and handling fee.
You know what handling is? That's
yeah,
the handling
that's-
for the cash to go into all
How do you
these
think it's
hands.
I got bills to pay, man. I got people to pay.
Yeah.
He's got FBI agents to deal
lawyers to
with.
pay.
Right. That's right.
He's got a TRS 80 to reboot.
That was
Come
the greatest.
on.
I think we only had one game for that thing. Zork.
It's an Apple IIe, not a TSI.
Right. That's what BGG is on a TRS 80 on a floppy.
It feels like that.
8.5 inch.
That's what she said.
We
It's
last week
on
was
punch cards.
last week was a bear, man. You joke.
So how bad was it really? Like, give the people. There's a lot of people in chat that were asking about
are there
what
people
happened.
watching? Oh yeah, I gotta give
Yeah,
you a
yeah,
story. So basically, we woke up Monday morning. Like I was up Monday. I work at nights mostly, right? And I did not notice anything Monday night when it started. But like when I woke up Monday, Dan's like sights down. Actually, I think he texted me and called me. And then when I hear Dan's name on the caller ID, I'm like, oh yeah, something's wrong. So he called me, and then I get on, and it's like, okay, we can't get to the site. What do we do? We start. We have like a list of things we check, right? Like 5 or 6 different investigations, and they all turned up nothing.
Plug it back in.
By the end, of on our back end, and then by the end of the day, it started stopping, and I'm like, okay, well, could have just been weird internet stuff. Like we were checking like internet router tables, to see if those were down, and they were at the time. Tuesday, exact same thing happened. I woke up, he calls me, and we're like, what do we do? We can't. I mean, we keep trying all our different things, and finally I actually found something that was like, oh, well, this is limiting things here. It was like a number, like a hard-coded number. And so we changed that and increased it. And then immediately, as soon as we took that number up, it went from 4,000 to 8,000 and capped off again, right? And so the limit was hit again. And then we doubled it again, and it went up to 16,000. So basically by increasing that number, we were allowing the DDoSer to like get more into our network. Like it was being limited at that level, and we were thinking. And initially, the site was working, right? But then it took about 15 minutes to like start crumbling, right? It's like a cascading kind of thing. So end of Wednesday, we're like, okay, we increased the limit, but we're still having problems. So Thursday, wake up again, site's completely down. Like you can't get a connection at all. Like okay, this is serious now. We have to start trying to figure other things out. So we got a woman off Twitter who responded to our tweet and basically said she could help. And we spent the whole day debugging the website. At the end of the day, I started like other weird kind of ideas, and I started like looking at what pages were getting loaded, because pages were still getting loaded by the bot, right? We didn't know it was botnet at that point. And some weird information started filtering to the top, right? And I'm not going to say what it was. But then I'm like, wait a second, that's unnatural, right? And I started investigating more and then more and more and more. And then went back and looked and saw that this botnet had hit us 5 or 6. It was about 6 million hits to one area of the website. I'm like, okay, there it is. Boom, found it. Which at that point, whether we could figure it out, we could basically stop it. And then on Friday, the FBI called. Like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, oh, hey, how's it going? We need to talk to you. We would like to talk to you. We'd like to talk to one of my agents. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's being worked on right now. So we got the FBI looking at it.
So they were calling to help, like they wanted to find
basically,
out
yeah. They're like, hey, we can help you out. You know, we got resources. We can help you out and figure
So
out.
how did
things
they
out.
know?
Because we tweeted it. Remember when I
'cause
tweeted?
they-
Remember, actually, it was not Friday. It was Monday morning. At the timing, like Sunday night, I finally decided. I'm like, you know what? I need to like let people know, because otherwise, it just looks like we're idiots, right? Like, how do you don't know how to run a website?
Why can't it be both?
Don't worry, we already.
That's probably
that
true.
anyway.
That's probably So Monday afternoon or something, I got the call from the FBI, and then basically I talked to them all week this week, working with them. But who knows? We'll see what happens. We've mitigated the problem, but it just shows how like easily fragile we are, you know. So we have to probably work on some more other things.
Yeah, I mean, what kind of defense system do you have set up for a DDoS attack? You would have never thought anyone would have targeted a board game website for a DDoS
exactly,
attack,
and
right?
we've never been purposefully targeted before that we know of, right?
So now, do you have defenses set up? Like, are you able? Is there software you can buy to help prevent this?
There is software and different practices, and I don't know if this would have actually stopped what happened. I mean, it might, because a distributed denial of service is basically a whole lot of hits from a bunch of different people. And this was like now that I've counted up the IP addresses, and this is only when I started tracking them, right? It's 300,000 unique IP addresses.
It's all the people that were pissed off that Pandemic Legacy got bumped by Gloomhaven.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on that the whole show.
Yeah. If it was just one person, it would be easily to stop, right? Like I'm like, okay, well, I know this person's screwing around. I can block them, right? I can block you by
300,000 people.
You can't block 300,000.
So in the end, is this going to cost you a lot of money, or is this pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah. That's what it's looking like.
That's
more money, more problem.
So what? I'm not too hip on this shit. What is a DDoS actually do? Does it divert your traffic to another site, or
no? It basically chokes your website so that people trying to connect to it can't connect.
It's like 100,000 people clicking on the same page at the same time and just constantly trying to refresh it, and it just basically bogs the system down to where it won't work.
I don't understand the point. Is that just somebody wants to fuck with you, or is there a point to that?
From what I understand,
the ransom letter's coming.
There's ransom to be done. Like people will get a ransom warning or a threat, like, "Hey, pay us $5,000, or we're gonna like DDoS your shit."
So the FBI
and then I would have immediately called the FBI had I got one of those. Like I don't have any problem calling the FBI these days.
So that was just
a regular thing.
That reached out to you. It was just somebody.
Sometimes it's just because someone doesn't like you.
So when we tweeted it, he basically said, "Yeah, I saw it on my Twitter feed, and we monitor the stuff." So,
wow,
it's a big thing now.
Why is the FBI watching your Twitter feed?
Well, it's not that they just search for DDoS, because I know that there was a game I was playing a few months back called Albion Online, and they were getting severe DDoS attacks, which almost shut their servers down for like a week. And it's a big deal. Like there's people out there. It's cyber terrorism basically. They choose websites that they know can afford to pay them small amounts of money, and then they'll DDoS them for 2 or 3 days, send a request in, and then if they don't pay, they'll just continue doing it until they get worked out or caught. It's really weird.
I actually seen a documentary on this, but they were attacking police stations. Their systems.
Any network on the internet is
targetable.
It'd be susceptible to being taken down.
That's why I still use CompuServe.
I don't know if you guys, when you dial up, no one's on though, right?
Yeah,
like, you're just talking to nobody in the chat
room for the win. No one messes with AOL.
God, I forgot what I was gonna say now. Anyway, whatever.
The board game equivalent of a DDoS is trying to get into the Gen Con exhibit hall at 10 a.m. on Thursday morning.
Yeah, the door is only so wide and only so many people can get through it, right?
Yeah.
And then if you put a bunch of people behind that door, if the door was very small, which our door is pretty small, like BGG is still a pretty small site, in the grand scheme of the internet.
I'm just curious how that actually works. Like, how do you get 300,000 hits from different IP addresses?
Here you go. This is exactly what I was going to say. So,
okay.
You guys heard of Internet of Things?
The internet's full of things.
Internet of Things means you have internet. All of your regular day-to-day devices are connected to the internet. Your refrigerator, your toaster, your ice maker. That's coming, right? Like that's a fact.
Right.
These two kids from, I forget where they're from, but they basically tried to write a bot that would stop another one of their friends from playing Minecraft. It's like a Minecraft thing. And I forget the name of the bot system, but they created it, right? And it spreads itself to all these Internet of Things, right? Like your garage door opener, your webcam, your connected web, all these things connect to the internet that don't have any security on them at all, right? And they're so easy to break into and hack and like control. So these things, what they do is they check in with an IRC server. Do you remember IRC and all that stuff, like internet chat, internet relay chat? And if you're the controller, you can send a command that goes out to all these things, right? They'll all check in. They'll be like, hey, is there anything work for me to do? No. Okay, I'll go to sleep. Oh, is there any work for me to do? No. Oh, yes. Target Board Game Geek, right? And then all of these devices will start hitting BGG or whatever the target is.
Right.
And the guys who control these things charge money for this. Like you can go out and buy one right now for Bitcoin.
Wow.
300,000 IPs is a lot. That means they have 300,000 computers that have been infected with some malware, either computer or Internet of Things. Right? And that's what we're facing now. Tons and tons of botnet.
The documentary I was watching, they said that the cops actually had to get the FBI involved eventually because it was an overseas company. I think it was Russia or China. I don't remember which one.
Yeah.
But they said a month later they did the same thing and then, went with the ransom and shit again. And they said basically there was nothing they could do about it. Just keep hitting them.
There's really not a lot you can do.
Yeah.
You can mitigate it. You can't stop it.
Yeah, it's
which is what we did. It's still going right now. Yeah. So that's what we're facing in the future now with all these Internet of Things with no security on them. And your computer can be infected too, right? Like if you download a program from the internet that you don't know where, it could install a virus and that virus turns your computer into a zombie. And even when you'll never know it, right? You'll never know. Your computer is basically saying, "Oh, I'm calling into this thing. Do I have a command?" Okay, and it's not much, right? Like it'll say, "I'll send 50 requests to that website." Like 50 is like no big deal, right? No one's going to notice 50.
Isn't that pretty much
that times 300,000? What's up?
Isn't that pretty much what malware is?
Some malware, yeah. There's different types of malware, right? Like one of them will be zombie, botnet malware. Some will be capture your keystrokes. Some will be, try to infiltrate your bank account, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. I think I'm speaking correctly. Check in the comments here. Yeah. That's what we think this is because it's so global, right? It's not from any one place. It's all over the place.
But there was never any motive determined on why these people were attacking you.
No, I don't know. Not that I know of. Somebody was pissed off. Maybe Octavian banned somebody.
Yeah, maybe.
And
what are we talking about?
I'll pay $50 to
the DDoS attack on BGG this week.
Yeah, we're just talking about the details
of
the DDoS attack. Come on, man! This is your show. You should know.
He doesn't use BGG. He doesn't even know. He doesn't use.
No, I know. You had some sort of I'm sorry. I just kept clicking on the links over and over.
Are you talking about BoardGaming.com?
It was all coming out of Fargo, North Dakota.
It's weird.
You haven't gotten contacted by the FBI yet, Lance? I haven't tracked it down yet.
Is everybody else?
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, here's the deal. I don't know what they can do. I mean, they can figure out what botnet it is. As I understand it, the FBI tracks all the botnets in the world. right? Like they build up a database. I'm assuming.
But even if they found out who was doing this to you, what is there any kind of action you could take against them other than maybe, obviously they're costing you money. Is there a way you could get reparations for it?
I mean, it's a crime, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you been hit up for the with the
no ransom? No. Unless we didn't see it, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah.
I don't answer my phone though either, so who knows? Maybe someone called.
They're trying to get money out of you, calling you constantly.
Call with one of those. This is the blah 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 from the blah blah blah.
Like all like it's all that mechanical voice, whatever.
Yeah, that robotic female. This is blah 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 from blah blah blah.
This is your last chance warning, but then I'm going to call you tomorrow.
Hi, this is Cindy. Shut up, click.
So I got a weird call today. Speaking of weird shit happening. Actually, I got two stories. Can I have my 95? No, I didn't. I normally don't answer my phone, but this said the county of Dallas, right? And I just deferred my jury duty for the 4th time. This is my 4th jury duty in like 4 or 5 years, right? So I deferred it, and I thought, okay, that maybe they're calling me to verify or something. Like, so I answered it, and it was not the county of Dallas. It was some kind of fake auto insurance thing.
Yeah, they've spoofed my workplace number before, so I thought work was calling me. And
I said, he goes, "Hi, this is blah 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 from Auto Insurance USA." I'm like, who? Wait, what? Who are you? And then they hung up on me. As soon as you start deferring from the script, like they hang up. Second thing. So last night, or was it 2 days ago, I ordered something off Amazon for Lincoln to take to Germany, right? Because he's going to Nuremberg. So I ordered some gear. And the next day, I started getting calls from Seattle saying, and I don't answer the phone, right? So they left messages saying, "Hey, this is Amazon. Call us back. We need to verify your order." I'm thinking, oh, okay. Probably need to call them back. So I called them back. The woman on the phone was like, "Hi, this is order verification service." They didn't say Amazon. So I'm like, oh. I go, "I got a call about an order. I need to verify." She goes, "What's your name?" Blah, blah. I give my name. "What's your email?" I give her my email. "What's your billing address?" I'm like, no, I'm not giving. I go, "This is it. This is all I'm giving you." She goes, "Well, I couldn't help you then." Like, okay, bye. I'm thinking it was like a phishing thing, right?
Oh yeah. You're an idiot.
Well, guess what happened? My fucking Amazon account got locked out. I run half a BGG on my Amazon account. So I'm like, I can't get into the BGG side of Amazon all night last night where I needed to do some work. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck? So they locked down my account because I didn't fucking answer their stupid ass questions.
But they were so fishy in it.
I know, it was so fishy. And it sounded like a call center, like a basically, overseas call center. And I'm not trying to be like prejudiced or anything, but like,
no, what it was is that they had just enough information, probably just to spam the crap out of your thing.
Exactly.
And then they just like, so basically they tried
to log in. But here's
the thing.
No,
that's what they did. That's what they did. They got just enough information out of you that they tried to, one, they're probably like, we're gonna F this guy and get his account locked, and two, they were just gonna start trying to hack it. Trying to figure out.
They took your email address and name and tried to log into your Amazon account 100,000 times.
And then they hit Amazon so many times, and that Amazon said you were locked.
So they canceled my order, which now sucks because it might not get there in time for him to go to Germany, right? And also, they deleted all my credit cards, so I have to, my account is like literally wiped. I mean, not wiped. I have still all my other things.
They did that because
what the hell?
They got rid of all your credit card information because they don't want, if somebody does get in, they don't want them to get that information.
Right.
And then two, they canceled order because they couldn't because then they honestly were like, oh, there's like a pending order. I mean, like
that must have been fake.
Yeah.
Or just doing it to protect you. It just all adds up. It'll just all adds up. I mean, even if it's all legit, and it might be
too legit.
super fucking.
It seems weird that you're getting attacked with all this cyber stuff recently. I'm really thinking
right?
you guys pissed somebody off.
I need to get off the internet. I'm going into hiding. I'm going into hiding tomorrow.
I mean, now next thing you know, this show's
Here's
going
the
to get DDoSed.
I have two-step authentication. You guys all have two-step authentication on your Amazon accounts? Do it.
No.
I got.
Please do it.
No
Please do it. Please do two steps on all your email. I already talked about this on. They can't hack it. They cannot. Even if they know my password, just 1 2 3 4 5, you still have to have my two-step authentication.
Password an idiot would have on his
holy shit! It's John Rott. What's up, John?
Hi. I'm here.
I've got a question for
my
people.
God, I didn't even see you, man.
Actually, John's here. John's here, so I can tell everybody to shut up because I want to talk to John.
Yeah.
So,
first of all, what's in your basket?
who? Keith Collins left. Was he sleepy?
I don't know.
He got tired.
Told him to shut up. He must have.
I told him to shut up.
He's going to turn on his two-step.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
That's probably it, Scott. Sorry, by the way, Scott, to hear about all the nonsense.
Oh, thanks, man.
So,
sucky. Go ahead, Lance. I mute myself.
Somebody's going to say something as soon as I start talking.
I'm waiting for your mouth to go. I'm ready. I'm fired up and ready to go.
Say something. Say something. No. So my son.
All right, guys, I gotta go. Okay. All right.
So my son Caleb tried, like, he has gotten he actually, like, he was an orange belt in Taekwondo. He had done everything to get yellow belt except for breaking a board. He actually has done everything to get green belt, including the green pattern and everything like that. I mean, like, so he actually, like, he worked with he would just be the one orange belt with all the other yellow belts, working with all of them, but it was just because he knew the orange stuff down pat. And he had to do a running jumping sidekick to break the board, and he'd test, and he would test, and he would test, and he would test. And I mean, to his credit, I mean, there were a couple times when he got a little upset when he didn't pass it. There was like especially if he saw somebody else do it after he tried and he didn't get it done. That's when I'd see a few tears show up. But he would keep at it, and he had a really good attitude about it. But I mean, he didn't get as worried about it as, like, his parents did. I mean, like, I'd be like, I can't watch, just because, I mean, I just wanted him to do well. And it was just one of those things where it was just, he did it over and over again. And so I reached out to John one day, and I think it was on the show, actually, or maybe I just called him. I don't know. But I reached out to John. I asked him for a bunch of tips that we could possibly do as far as to help him out. And one of the things John suggested that he do was just, like, run at me when I have the pad, or just hold him a pillow or something like that, and just run into me as hard as he can, just to get used to the idea of running as fast as you can and running and hitting something, just so he could get used to the speed. And he Caleb called them butt blasts, because he would turn to his side and hit me with his butt.
Flying butt joust.
Yes. So he would do those over and over again, and there was a lot of things. And so last Tuesday, and the weird thing is that, like, everybody knew. I mean, he'd been, like, trying to break this board for 6-7 weeks, and so everybody, I mean, all the other parents that are watching, like, I mean, people would, like, would watch him do it, and it would just be like, and he would do it, and so the thing was, it was like, and so I didn't record him, which I'm a little bit sad about, but he said he didn't want me to, just because he thought it made him nervous. So I was like, all right. So I didn't record him doing it, but he went and, like, the head trainer This guy is Master Roy. He's like a 5th degree Taekwondo black belt. He basically took him most of the day and just had him working on his kicks, and had another like a red belt working with him, just doing his kicks over and over again. And then he went to go do the board break, and Master Roy just kind of watched him do it. And like the first like 4 or 5, it was weird. Like when he'd run super fast and he'd kick at a pad, and he would do it, or kick at a padded wall, super fast over and over again. But you put that piece of wood in front of him, it was like just mind, like he couldn't do it. He would run and he'd slow down at the end, like, and you knew that if he just threw himself into it, he would do it. But you can't get that through to a 6-year-old kid. So I don't know what happened, but I do know what happened. What happened was, after like the first like 3 or 4 kicks where he wasn't just really trying, Master Roy went over and he actually was stern with him, which was weird because he'd never really been stern with him. And I asked him, I didn't hear what he said because he was whispering to him and he was talking to him. But I guess what he said was, you need to stop hoping that you break the board, and you need to start breaking the board. And then he said, you get 5 more tries to break it, and if you don't break it, you're going to give me 25 push-ups. And Caleb walked back over, and he ran as hard as he could, and he leaped and jumped, and he broke it, like crack, like just bam, done, first try. The entire gym was watching him. I didn't realize it at the time, and they had stopped to watch him do it, and like everybody cheered for him, which was
that's so exciting.
Well, it was such a cool dad moment. I was really, really happy for him, and he was just like, yeah, he couldn't believe it. He had this look in his face like he couldn't believe that he did it. So it was like one of those things where it was like, yeah, he accomplished it. And they didn't make it easy on him at all. There have been other kids where they've I'm not going to say they give up on them doing it, but they regress what they have to do a little bit just so they can get them to the next belt, because they've been stuck at that belt for so long. But they didn't do that with him, so I was really happy for him.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. So it was just it was Dad had to stare at the sky for a little bit because it was dusty in the gym, but I was really, really proud of him.
I thought the orange belts look cooler than the yellows, though.
Well,
but I like that. I don't know what are the color order? Orange, yellow.
It really depends on the. You can probably ask John. That's probably a better question for him. But I think it's different for some gyms or dojos or whatever you want to call them. For us, it goes orange. It goes white, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, red, brown, black. I believe.
Wow, that's a lot of levels.
No, brown, red, black. Maybe it's red, brown. No, it's brown, red, black, I believe. Yeah, it is, because red is right before black, because the kid just got his black belt. But yeah, I was very proud. It was I was ridiculously proud of him. And he's probably going to test for his green relatively soon, because he's got all the yellow stuff done. Of course, he's got to do a hammer punch now to break a board.
That's actually really easy. That's so much easier than running sidekick.
Yeah, I know. You see him,
it's so much easier. That is completely backwards.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they do the running sidekick just because they want to in a weird way. Yeah, it's taekwondo, and also I think it's to the kids that really want to be there, right? It's if they it's one of those things where it's it's kind of a weird, do you want to keep spending the money to have your kid come here and do this if they're not going to do it? But anyway, I was very, very proud of my kid, and yeah, it was just one of those I'm really super glad I was here, and I was really super happy for him. And now now this 6-year-old kid with the mop of hair gets to be part of the leadership team for the white belts and help them with everything, which I think is hilarious, because he's just a little monster of energy. So, but yeah, I don't know. It was cool. So that's my big achievement this week. That was even, and then like that entire time I was like, we had funded on our Kickstarter and all that other stuff, and I was just kind of like, today's a good day. So yeah, there you go. So thank you, John, for the help you gave me.
I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah. Well, how do the belts go in your wackadoo, Jim?
We go generally from lightest possible to darkest. So yellow comes before orange because it's getting darker towards black. So we do white, yellow, orange, purple, green, blue, red, brown, black. And I like the order. Well, purple doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but the rest of the colors are really cool. One of the original belt systems, technically the original belt system, was you only ever got one belt. You got a white dash.
And it's got all dirty.
It's really true. That's how you earned your black belt. The original black belt was you would train in your white belt, and you would sweat in the workouts, getting into shape, and it sweaty white thing turned yellow, and then nasty enough, it's kind of orangish in places. And then you would grapple and you'd wrestle because you didn't really practice in a dojo all the time. You were out in the field, and then it would get grass stained and it would turn green, and you would start sparring, and you didn't wear giant padded gloves, so you would bleed on it, and that's how you would earn your red belt. And then old dried blood in cloth looks brown, and that's how you would earn your brown belt. And then eventually it was so sweaty, so grass stained, so blood stained, so nasty, it looked black. And that's the original black belt. In America, where we wash things, because if your mom takes your red belt and throws it in the washing machine and rubs it against the wash pan, then all of a sudden you're a white belt again. The old tradition is you wash your uniform, but you never wash your belt because you would wash away the degrees of experience shown on your uniform, on your belt. So, but since we wash stuff in the U.S., you still should never wash their belts, just so you know. But we do the artificial colors because we're training inside. We're not actually grappling outside. We don't have that same experience. You'd have a white belt that's white for 5 years. Maybe it looks a little gray in some spots.
Yeah. Kabuki Kid, yeah, I do think that Master Roy went totally Yoda on him. Just like the do or do not, there is no try. You know, just he needed to. But anyway, he did it. And, you know, the thing is that I think there was other times maybe he, like, it was so weird where it was like when he did it, it didn't look like he did it, like, any better than any other time. Like, some of the other times when he did one that was really good, it was just maybe he just hit the exact right spot on the board or something, you know, and it just happened to be his time. So, anyway.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for sending me the photo. That was really cool that you thought of me to send it to me. And then I was really impressed. I was surprised when I saw it was real pine. Usually, there's another type of wood called Palawina wood. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but if
Balsa.
No, it's, well, there's that too. But they call it like Palawina wood or something like that, and it's super fragile. It's like a grown man looks at it cross-eyed and it snaps in half. And I usually see that being used for 5- and 6-year-olds. But you said broke pine.
I saw you quoted
it was like 3.
Well, go ahead. I'm sorry. What? 3/4 inch.
I said I'm guessing the pine. No, not 3/4 inch. That would be like he wouldn't get through it.
Maybe it's 1/2 inch. I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably like 3/8 for 6-year-olds.
I mean, it's yeah. I think it's 1/2 inch, honestly.
But yeah, 1/2 inch is pretty standard. It's what a lot of the guys like on TV who are like, look, I can break 700 boards in under 30 seconds, and they're just hammer fisting 9 boards at a time. They're usually using the 1/2 inch boards, and then anybody who's doing real power strikes usually uses 3/4 inch boards. But then, of course, Bruce Lee wants to know what the board ever did to you. So I enjoy the fun board breaking debate. But
who said the belt was used to hold up his pants? Isn't that something in that?
Oh yes, I have
Mr. Miyagi, yeah, of course.
Yes,
Karate Kid.
That's very useful.
Yeah.
That's incredibly racist. But anyway, what? So you said you had to throw all your black belts out of your training
Accents
program?
aren't racist. I'm an actor. Accents are not racist. Go. What do you say?
Oh, wait, you said you had to throw all your black belts out of your training program? I saw you posted that.
So I have a black belt training program I call the Griffin Corps because I'm obsessed with Griffins. So my black belt training program I call the Griffin Corps. It's an invite-only program. It's for green belt and above. Tournament experience required and a whole bunch of other to be invited into the program. And then the expectations are even higher. You have to maintain the expectations or I kick you out. And in my Wednesday night class, I had to kick out 6 of the 7 kids, each for their own individual reason. They all broke one of the core rules. 4 of 5 didn't know the form that I had taught them and we worked on every week for 3.5 months. And then they didn't know it on test day. So I was like, that one of the conditions is, quote, responsibility and willingness to work hard. They actually get a paper invitation with the rules written on it. And showing up on test day in Griffin Corps and not knowing the form that I taught you for the last 3 months, that's not responsibility and willingness to work hard. So I had to kick out all of my students but one. I made all of them turn to the one, my brown belt, and apologize to her because she lost her class because of them. And that's why I'm here early enough to actually show up while people are still here.
Wow, aren't you a total hard ass? Yeah,
I am. Yes, I am. If you want a black belt, you better earn your friggin' black belt. This is not a belt mill. I don't give it to you because you paid your test fee. Or test fee's $10. Like, no, earn it, or don't. And yeah, one of them dropped. My red belt dropped out. She showed up today in jeans and did homework in the back while her little brother took class. And I'm like, I'm pretty easygoing. I'm a pretty friendly guy, but when it comes to like things that you got to do right, like do it right. Like in my faith, like do it right or don't do it. And one of the great things about my faith is that when you mess stuff up, you're allowed to like go and fix it. But like that's the same thing in karate. Like all of the kids can get back in, go and practice that form, show me that you know it, and you come back in. But yeah, so yeah, I'm a black belt. I want to teach black belts, and I don't want to teach a bunch of buff balls who aren't practicing. So, and they know it, and it's good for them. Look, kicking a bunch of 12-year-olds out of your class who've been with you for 6 years. There's nothing.
Well, it makes you feel good, doesn't it? Just ruin their day.
I will ruin a 12-year-old's day in order to help get their entire rest of their life back on track any day of the week. Absolutely.
What if that actually just leads them down a path of more ruin because you threw them out?
You know, that's probably going to happen to like 1 in 20 kids, and I'm willing to risk the one.
Oh, really? So that one kid doesn't matter? The other 19 do?
No, that kid matters, but I'm not going to ruin the other 19 in order to coddle the one who's going to quit eventually anyway.
Lance, that philosophy you just said there, coming back to the education talk, has ruined education. You
honestly think I feel that way?
I don't know.
Are you being sarcastic? You know, just like
I do.
And you know what?
You're so tired, it's hard to tell.
Well, you know what, Forrest? I mean, how much testing do you do in your daycare?
We don't do nearly as much.
I was wondering. I mean, what's the standardized testing that you put forth in your daycare that you handle?
Well, we have a program called On My Way Pre-K, which connects directly to that, and we have something called the High Scope curriculum, which is
how many kids have you flunked out that you didn't? That you could have flunked out of your program that you.
Hey, Billy, if you can't finger paint like everybody else,
you're out of here. You still have the 1 out of 20 that you have to let them go through.
It's a money making thing. Like I don't have any choice in the matter. Where I work is a nonprofit, which means they're all about making that cash. I mean, and like I said earlier, I couldn't hold them back even if I wanted to, because even public school teachers can't do that without express permission from the parents.
What I'm saying,
always like that.
Forrest, when you first said that comment about ruining education, I thought you were talking to me, and I was like, "Wait,
oh no,
Common Core ruined education, and everybody passes ruined education." What do you? So I was glad you're talking to Lance because I was so confused at first.
Yeah, I was definitely on your side of that, because too many people just focus on that one and how, just it annoys me.
Amen.
But no, I can't, because they're children aged. Well, I work with school agers after school right now, Lance. So it's a completely different ball game. I help them with homework and stuff like that. But
Would you say it's like football?
What?
Would you say it's like football or like soccer?
What?
You said it's a whole different ball game. I wonder what kind of ball game it is.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to bed before I flunk my belt test. Good night.
Aw, I would never flunk you my 1 out of 20.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'll take that. Number 19 reporting out.
No, it's there's different curriculums, Lance. My particular curriculum is we take notes. We try to actually see what the children do by actively seeing them do it, and then we have this whole scale where we're like, all right, they currently are on a 4 out of 6 on this scale because we've seen them do it. It's what we should do in the education system, is actually see them complete things on their own instead of just doing the testing where they learn it and they just puke it out. They don't even remember anything. Because there's different teaching models.
Is that a copy of Ubi on your left shoulder? Right shoulder?
Me? Probably.
Yeah. Ubi. Down below. Down.
Ubi. Oh god, it's a triangle. What the hell? 2 to 24.
Yep. That was the sequel. That was the sequel to Trivial Pursuit.
What?
Was it?
Yeah. The guys who made Trivial Pursuit made that game. It's a geography game.
Did you hear about my giant haul I got, Scott?
I think so. Like one of your friends moved and he didn't want to carry all that stuff.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot more retro gaming.
Did he keep anything, or did he just give you everything?
He had some stuff, La Havre and stuff like that. He kept the good stuff, but he gave me all of his old thrift stuff, like Ubi.
So who will be the next person to receive all your thrift stuff when you move?
No, I've started to give stuff away in my classroom.
You're working way through it,
or just using them for components, because I'm never going to ship them, and they're not going to get sold if I just hold on to them. So I'm just going to start giving them away to the kids that like them in my classroom.
Yeah, I'm facing that now. I got about 100 games I want to get rid of, and I've been trying to do it local. It's just taking too long.
I wish I had only 100 games I had to get rid of.
Well, I don't collect them like you do.
I know
how to let go.
We're gonna do a thing at spring, pay what you want, and give away about, or sell for charity. But we're gonna try to get rid of at least 1,000, maybe 2,000 games.
Nice.
Pay what you want room.
That's cool.
With some limitations. I mean,
$1 the whole room.
How's that work? You're gonna put them with like categories, like this much for this category.
We're gonna fill up a room with games, and you come pay what you want, and it's gonna be for charity.
I just said $1 the entire room. Done.
You have to make direct eye contact with the person when you purchase it. Glare in the eye.
I haven't figured out what the charity is going to be, but the charity will be taking the money. You will have to pay them by swiping your card.
There you go.
And $1 will not cut it.
Hey, you know what? Forrest has no problem with that because he works the system. He'll say $1 the entire room. Swipe my card.
We're going to make a limitation.
There's a difference between taking from a charity and taking from the government.
They're not taking from anything. It isn't like they had $1,000 and you're taking $999 away. Yeah, you're just giving them $1.
I think
Forrest is going to walk over. He's going to take the empty box out of the trash can and bring it up for a free refill of the second game.
Yeah.
I love that, the popcorn. That was such a great story. I'd never thought of that. I mean, that's a brilliant idea.
Really? Yeah. I think I've seen a lot of people doing it. I mean,
really?
A lot. I mean, I've seen probably like.
Is that why the trash cans now have those holes that are smaller than the bucket? So that you
got to take those off now. It's kind of annoying.
Oh, you got to lift them up. Oh, that's even another level that I didn't contemplate. I'm blocked by a barrier that's this big. I don't want to go down and try to get the bucket out. Man.
Hey Lance and team, can I share about start spreading the word about a Kickstarter we got coming up?
No, I suppose that's why you shut up so you could
kick all these people out of class just so you could do a Kickstarter.
I kicked them all out early so that I could tell you about something that doesn't even exist yet. Freaking right. I even lost that one just for this appointment here. So anyway, we have so our halvesies finally are in stock, and we're going to be fulfilling the backers really soon for the World Tour. And we are doing a campaign for bulk dice from the halvesies line. So we've only done 7 die sets in the past. So now we're doing like Warhammer set. So if you want like 12d6 or 10d10 or, you know, 60 20s or whatever, we're doing bulk sets of all of the 7 shapes. And I'm really excited about it. So I'm gonna start spreading the word. That's gonna happen in February. Halvesies, bulk dice, all 16 color combinations that we have available will be available for all of your Warhammer and 5e magic dice chuckingness. So you can get Phoenix. I'm so excited. It's so stupid. One of my favorite things I'm so excited about having Phoenix D6 blocks to throw like level 8 fireballs at people. So you can actually throw a fistful of fire across the board. So have these bulk dice coming up. February. Cool. Yeah.
In all the colors or a specific
color? All 16. Not the original.
Here's my problem. My Death Rattle army in Warhammer. I have a group of I have 2 groups of 40 skeleton warriors each. And if I have a necromancer that passed the vivification spell, I can do 2 pylons and 2 attacks. And if I have my white king within 8 inches of that unit, and I have over 30 units, each one of those skeleton warriors with spear gets 5 attacks.
Is this that new math?
So
yes.
What ends up happening is that I have in like the first round, if I can get them close to another unit, I have approximately right around 120, 130 6-sided dice I have to roll at once for my attacks. So can I get you have dice that would be suitable for a skeleton army? And secondly, do you have an option for selling like 130 dice of the same color?
Absolutely. Yes and yes.
Okay.
Can you make those little mini dice, John? You know what I'm talking about? The little
I can.
We're not 20 millimeter, 30 millimeter things.
Yeah, I love those little guys. We're gonna do ones that currently match the sets that exist. So we're doing the normal size, and we're doing numerals instead of pips. I actually put out a poll. Do you want numerals like an actual 1, an actual 2, or like a pip? No, as far as my end, it doesn't make a difference. But overwhelmingly, the vote. Well, actually, I have the poll here.
I like pips. I'm going to go on record for pips.
Pip. Yeah, numerals won by a large margin.
Really? I hate numerals.
Yeah, actually, quote,
upside down 2 doesn't look right.
Which was one of the options. I'm content with either won the most, and then numerals was in second place, and then pips was trailing far behind. Wow. So I'm guessing, my guess is because pips are already ubiquitous, and everybody who has is like, why does nobody make numeral D6s? Wants me to finally do it. So we're going to do numeral D6s. But to answer your question, Lance, definitely a yes to both.
Okay, good deal.
You should talk. Have you ever talked with a D3 guy? Or the rollable D4
guy? Is that the 6?
No, it's like a weirdly like triangular D4 that you could roll. Kind of cool.
The crystal case?
But that guy, no, I'll dig it up. I'll find it for you.
Yeah, send me a picture.
It's rollable though. Like it tumbles. You know what I mean? It's not a pyramid.
No, I don't have any here. Yeah, Crystal Case has their all of them are long cylinders. They have all 7 die in cylinders. So they just roll like that. And then 6, people have been bugging me to do because 6 isn't. I mean, that's what they called them, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's D12s. That's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 through 4, 1 through 4, 1 through 4, 1 through 4. We hope to make those in the future, but right now we're going to do our normal size ones.
Kabuki Kid says they are called truncated D4s.
Truncated D4s. I'll have to look it up. Probably seen them before. I just don't not get your meaning. Truncated D4.
The guy did them all with numbers, and I kind of hate them all. I like pips. I like pips, man.
Oh,
I'm with you. I like the pips too.
The font is never correct.
Yeah.
I mean, weird.
yeah. We have a really pretty font for a D6. I actually like it. I think I prefer pips also. But like, it depends. When I'm rolling like 1, 2, or 3, maybe 4 dice, I think I like numerals. But I think once I hit like 6 or more, for me, the pips are easier to count. I've had a ton of people tell me that they think that the numerals are easier to count. And if I were in Lance's situation, though, I think I would hit a threshold. If I'm rolling 130, I would want numerals. Because when I have 130 dice stacked next to each other, it just looks like a bajillion pips. But if I have 130,
he's never going to be able to roll that many.
If I have 130 numerals, then it's easy to just pull out all the 1s and the 2s and set the 6s aside or whatever to sort it that way. I think it would be easier. And he does Warhammer, and he was telling me about his D6 needs, and he rolls like 30 to 40 at a time. And he says he literally he puts them in a box, shakes up the box, and then his opponent needs to roll like the ones that pass the check as his defense check, and he hands the box over to the other guy, and then he rolls the box in order to compare their numbers or what have you. So I don't know, however it works. I've never played Warhammer, so I'm just happy to meet the need.
You gotta love the D6. You live and die by the D6.
More people should play Warhammer.
Have they not changed it all these years? Still D6?
It's all D6, baby.
Man.
Somebody told me that they have a Warhammer set that needed D6s and D10s. I was surprised by that. Is that
Chronopia had D10, I think.
Chronopia did have D10s.
Or was it D20s? Can't remember.
No, it was D10s.
Is it D10?
Chronopia had a wonderful like world too.
And you only needed like 12 minis, so it was very economical.
Yeah, and they had some
You
fantastic.
filled your whole army with 12
too.
minis. Yeah, they did. Some amazing stuff.
The four-armed trolls. I had the troll army. They were quite good.
I jumped back into Kingdom Death Monster.
Oh,
started a new settlement. You okay,
Good for
Barry?
you.
I had a rough week. I took
a lot of sitting around in the house or what?
Well, no, the back brakes on my wife's car went, so I fixed them, which is kind of bittersweet.
Well, how's your mother-in-law? She help out a little bit?
Yeah, fuck her. The brake thing was.
It's like I just know what his response is, but I have to say it just so I can get the laugh.
I ain't saying she's ever going to watch this.
But I say that to her face.
But that's on the internet forever now. I'm just saying.
What do I care? But the brake thing was bittersweet. It's like the first time I touched my mechanic tools since I left SEPTA, with the trains. It's kind of bittersweet. You
haven't touched a screwdriver since then? You haven't touched a hammer?
That's different. That's carpentry.
You use a screwdriver when you fix things.
Actually, with the trains, I didn't really use screwdrivers too much. It was all wrenches and ratchets and all that. But occasionally screwdrivers.
All right, I'm gonna shut up because I'm trying to like give you crap. But anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're doing. But yeah, that was kind of bittersweet. It only took me 5 hours, which didn't, kind of surprised me. But then I went through withdrawal. I took myself off of this drug that got me on Topamax for my leg, the nerve pain in my leg, because I noticed my hands and feet were going numb. I was having a hard time, like, walking and shit. They were, like, cramping up on me and all this. And my concentration was going even more. So the withdrawal was fun. And then today I took a tumble and got a rib shot. So, little pain.
That sucks, man.
It's a rough week. See, I'm with Forrest. Fuck all these drugs. I want to go to weed.
Hey, John. Can you see that? Is it focusing?
Oh, yeah. Oh, cool.
That's the D4.
Oh, okay. That's neat.
Yeah. I mean, you can roll it in. It actually rolls instead of just plop.
Sure. No, I roll.
I just hate these fonts.
Or with a decided chuck.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. The D4 rolls a big shake, and then a decided throw in the air in order to get it to work.
Those are engraved. This one is not.
Is it just painted on?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, no.
Whatever.
Yeah, I think I would like them better than a regular D4. I don't like them trying.
They're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with the truncated D4, you can't keep people from chasing you. There's a lot of value in the caltrop.
Oh, I get it.
I just dumped half the bag on the floor. That's great.
I had a player in one of my games who his specialty was barrages of things. So he would throw like fistful of rocks to distract people. He would throw a fistful of coins in order to get a bonus when he wanted to get away, because not only would it slow them down, but it would also, they'd have to make a willpower check to not just pick up the coins. And he also had a fistful of caltrops, which he would use D4s to represent and throw them on the table. It works. And they always remain on the floor because they're the hardest one to pick up. So when you scoop a handful of dice, you always have the D4 mysteriously sitting on the floor, waiting to kill you later.
Yeah.
I like D4s.
I don't. Can't pick them up. Can't roll. Step on them, they hurt like a motherfucker.
That's why I love.
I got cats, you know. They like play with them.
Wow.
It's like every 10 minutes we're long. Hey, Lance.
What?
I hope we can still be friends. I didn't send you a single text message about the game on Sunday.
Oh,
I am so excited about the Eagles. I was born with green blood, and I'm not an orc. And it's because I'm a Philly Eagles fan from South Jersey, born and bred. So I'm pretty stupid jazzed to have a solid team in this like underdog quarterback situation going to the Super Bowl. Though I am really sorry that you're missing your team in your hometown coming up.
Oh, so, we would have lost to the Patriots, which would have sucked anyway. But I mean, and which you're going to lose to the Patriots too, because they don't want to let them lose. But no, this week I'm gonna tweet every safety and defensive player on the Eagles, and I'm going to tweet to every single one of them the singular method with which the Patriots win every game is they always fall behind, and then in the fourth quarter, all they do is throw long passes in a singular effort not to expect anybody to catch the ball, but to expect pass interference calls, and just they win every fourth quarter comeback on pass interference calls, and it's infuriating to me because it's just as underhanded as when they were outright cheating and got caught a few years ago with the same exact coaching and ownership staff, mind you. I still don't trust them, and they still cheat to win, and they play dirty, and they act like they're a national team, and it's insulting. And I look forward to politely and respectfully destroying them. So yeah, go Eagles!
I can't support that statement.
Oh yeah. God, that's the one thing we just can't talk about, man.
Did you see that map of the United States of the Eagles fans? Like the whole country is colored green, except for Dallas.
It's so funny. I know.
Although I don't support the Patriots either, so have fun throwing the ball around. I'll watch the game, but whatever. Don't care who wins.
Jen showed me an article where they were preparing for that game, whether to win or lose or whatever, but they were putting Crisco on the poles down there in South Philly to prevent these idiots from climbing them. The last time there was, like, they were breaking windows and climbing on the poles and the telephone poles.
What's up with the Philly fans, man? I saw a video of them throwing full cans of beer.
Just go on YouTube and look up Crisco Police.
Yeah.
They literally hired a group of people, kind of like here in New York, like when we have really bad snowstorms. They just hire people to shovel snow. They basically hire people to go around and put Crisco on all the street poles in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
I love those fans.
Why? Crisco, why?
So people won't climb the poles.
Yeah.
They're the best in the country.
Why would you climb a pole?
Because that's what they do. They get drunk and they get rowdy and they go and climb a pole. Okay. And then they fall because they're drunk and rowdy and they break their head, and then the city gets charged for it.
Yeah. Hey, do you guys have these like e-bikes in your city?
Yes.
No.
I don't know.
You don't have them? They're basically bikes you pay for with the internet. Like
I know what they are
on your phone. Okay. They're everywhere here. They are literally.
It's like those cars everywhere. Outside of the Indianapolis Convention Center.
Yeah.
The car. Oh, I don't know what that is.
Do you remember those little tiny cars, those little electronic cars they had? You could rent them.
Yeah. I think I vaguely remember that.
We were trying to get Keith to pick you guys up at the airport for Gen Con.
Awesome.
One of those.
Okay. It's urban litter. It literally on every corner, on every sidewalk, there's a bike. In my neighborhood.
Okay.
It's really annoying. Yeah.
There's a lot of bikes in Newark. It's a college town. That's how they get.
There ain't these kind of bikes. Yeah. I mean, it rivals Amsterdam with the amount of bikes I'm seeing. Yeah. Well, Amsterdam still has it. Doesn't beat, but there's just literally I mean, Dallas is not really a walking city, so you either bike or drive. But they're everywhere, and I've never seen anybody riding one.
I'm trying to remember. I was just up in Philly last week. I went to the Revolutionary War Museum. I'm trying to remember if I seen them up there or not. Because Philly, they do walk a lot during the the spring and the summer. I don't think that they are. I'm not sure. I'm sure old cities where I would see them, though. Center City. Yeah. That was a pretty interesting museum. They had Washington's tent there, which I'm surprised still even exists, from like Valley Forge and all that. And then the guy who laid out DC, I can never remember his name. They had a watercoloring of this tent, which I didn't understand. It was only like this big. Yeah. Lafayette? No, I can't remember the guy's name. Some French guy.
Some French dude.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting museum, like I said. And it's privately owned, which surprised me. I thought it would be like federal or state, the park recreational department or something. But no. I still haven't been to that Constitution Center. I haven't gone down there since they moved the Liberty Bell and all that.
Yeah, I got nothing.
You got nothing. That's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare. Yeah.
Forrest, come on, say something incredibly ridiculous.
Wait, hold on.
I think I'm gonna sign off.
No, let Forrest say something incredibly
Forrest starts getting all controversial on everybody. I think I'm gonna go and I'm just kidding. But I think I'm gonna sign out too. It's good to see everybody. It's good to be able to be on here.
Good to see you, John.
It was good to see you, John. Way to break some kids' hearts.
Shatter their black belt dreams.
Yeah.
Yo, I have
until next week.
Every little kid needs a square kick in the butt at some point in their life.
I agree with you.
And it may have just happened for these kids. So we'll see how it goes. All but one came back. They were all there today. So, and the other one was there doing her homework in the background. So I'll get to talk to her next week because her brother's still coming. So it's gonna be good.
You're what is the line from?
I'm a loving father.
The line from Full Metal Jacket, because I am hard, you will not like me, but the more you hate me, the more you will learn.
A little severe for the current situation, but otherwise, I mean, not too far off.
Well, that's good enough, I suppose. We've talked for nearly 3 hours.
Sweet.
Yeah, nearly 3, huh? So I have work to do anyway. So work on some stuff for the stuff with the stuff and on the Kickstarter. Hey, if you haven't backed Gentis, go back it. If you already backed Gentis, back it again.
Back
Why wouldn't you want 2 copies?
What am I supposed to be backing?
Gentis, Gentes. It's the new Deluxified game.
Is that how it's pronounced? Is that how it's pronunciated?
Depends on who you talk to. A lot of people say Gentis, and then the more like Latin-y, academician way to say it is Gentis. Though, yeah.
It's not Gentis.
No, it's either Gentis or Gentis.
It would be Hentis.
Or Tinfoil Hattis.
Tinfoil Hattis. Anthony.
I'm loving your hat, Anthony.
It's really nice. It looks good on you.
Keeps the.
I want to see coils coming down.
Who's listening?
Glasses frame.
Kind of look like one of those space nuns.
Just because you're paranoid doesn't mean they aren't out to get you.
That's true.
Words to live by.
All right, friends.
All right.
Yeah,
I love you all.
friends. As
Fabulous
always,
to
John,
talk to everybody.
I think we're signing out, period. So just thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Well, I'll try to get Forrest going. I'll come up with something else that like he feels really strongly about, and I'll pretend to be the antithesis of that. And so
we can get David Lowery on here and have him talk about music again. That was fun. I remember that one. I was on the record books.
I enjoy David a great deal, but he is an acquired taste. So
he's a fireball.
I don't know.
As far as when you put 2 fireballs in the same room, it gets entertaining.
It does. So all right, everybody. Good night.